Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. Kevin Durant and the Suns look to keep their role going tonight when he makes his home debut with his new team versus the Thunder. Phoenix has won all 3 games with KD in the lineup, and in those 3 games, he and Devin Booker have combined for 188 points. We'll find out. That was the response of Jets owner Woody Johnson when asked if Aaron Rodgers would be coming to the Jets. Johnson and members of New York's front office were in California yesterday meeting with the 4-time NFL MVP. The Jets have been having conversations with the Packers and Rodgers regarding a potential trade to New York. If Rodgers does decide he wants to play elsewhere, the Jets do make perfect sense, believes ESPN's Herm Edwards.
He understands who the play caller is. He understands that the play caller is going to put him in the position to be successful. Look, Aaron Rodgers, we can say what we want about him, but the one thing he will do when he walks between those lines, he likes to compete. He goes to New York. He understands the pressure that's about to be put on him by going to New York. He likes that.
Herm Edwards on Get Up. Rodgers is contemplating whether to return to Green Bay, ask for a trade, or retire.
Get ready for Champions, the hilarious new movie starring Woody Harrelson. Woody's a hot-headed basketball coach who's in over his head when he's court-ordered to manage a team with intellectual disabilities and a whole lot of attitude. Champions, only in theaters Friday. Rated PG-13.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Pluckers. Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Muso. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Oh, by the way, it's a hump day. Yep.
It's hump day.
Let's hump, everybody.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Busy day, Mike.
Hump day.
LSU baseball against Lamar.
It's hump day.
Might have a first-time starter today.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Will year 1 of the Matt McMahon era come to a close today?
Hump day.
Probably.
It's hump day.
Might surprise you who's favored in that game.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Will the Pels continue their swoon at home against Dallas?
Hump day.
Muse is super negative.
It's hump day.
Really negative.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
The most negative person in the room.
Hump day.
Muse.
It's hump day.
Muse, why do you hate the Pelicans?
I do not hate the Pelicans.
You hate the Pelicans.
Mike.
I do not
What
hate
day is
the
it, Mike?
Pelicans.
So negative.
Hump day.
I am just very down on the New Orleans Pelicans.
Can't imagine why.
It's hump day.
Super negative guy over there.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Hey, Paulie.
Hump day.
Yeah. Is Muse super negative?
Super duper.
Yeah,
It's
no.
hump day.
The most negative.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
All right, Wales Xander in 1 hour.
Hump day.
We'll talk some LSU spring football.
It's hump day.
A lot to get to. Glad you're here. Okay, let's get going. Thank you. All right, glad you're in with us here. Hump Day Show is brought to you by Pluckers. Most days when I start to put the show together, the first thing I do is I identify the lead. Okay, what is the biggest story that we're going to lead with today? Some days it's very obvious. Monday, when the Saints signed Derek Carr, we're leading with Derek Carr. That's just a very obvious thing. Monday after LSU beats Alabama, guess where we're starting? You get it. Other days, that's a little more challenging. Today's an odd day because I've got a dozen things on the rundown today that I want to talk about, but there's not necessarily the one giant big thing that says start with me. There's actually three things happening tonight that are all intriguing in their own sort of different way. As we mentioned there, LSU basketball, LSU baseball, and the Pels all play tonight, and all are intriguing for different reasons. This could be the end of year one of the Matt McMahon era. LSU plays Georgia tonight. It's an 8 o'clock tip. It is on the SEC network as they start the SEC tournament. And oddly, LSU is a 3-point favorite in this ballgame. Despite the fact that LSU had the worst record in conference play this year at 2-16, 13-18 overall, the dreadful losing streak right through the middle of the year. But remember last month, LSU went to Georgia. They went to Athens in Stegman Coliseum. And KJ Williams hit the little turnaround jumper with 11 seconds left, gave LSU the lead. It looked like they were going to snap the losing streak, and then they allowed the coast-to-coast layup by Justin Hill. Georgia took the lead right back and ultimately won the game 65-63. So LSU played Georgia tough. Maybe this is a matchup that does favor LSU, and then you look at just the desperation of a team in a nothing-to-lose, win or your season is over type scenario in the SEC tournament. Maybe this is one where LSU can go get one. Regardless, this is going to be a critical offseason for Matt McMahon to see if he can somehow build a roster that is able to compete in the SEC, which he was not able to do coming into this year. But here was Matt McMahon talking about what his approach is for his team in this SEC tournament.
The best approach for us, we all know the turnover issues and some of the things that are shortcomings for us, is 0-0, work hard these next 2 days, hopefully go into the tournament, play with confidence. Loose is a word I would always want us to play that way, loose and confident. But I don't think practice today is really about trying to change a whole lot of different things.
Now, the complete opposite end of that spectrum is LSU baseball. Tigers had a 4-game sweep over the weekend, Friday through Monday. They took yesterday off, and they're back at it today against Lamar. We all know the drill with Lamar now. That's Will Davis, former LSU Tiger, former LSU assistant, who's the head coach over there at Lamar. So Will brings his squad here to Alec Box Stadium tonight for LSU, the 5th game in 6 days. So it's kind of one of those things where you're gonna use up likely a lot of different arms, and I think we may just see Christian Little get the ball tonight for the first time as a starter. He's appeared in 4 games. It's all been out of the bullpen, and we've seen him just dominate coming in that 9th inning role. So I love Christian Little in that back of the bullpen role. But this is a guy that did start during his time at Vanderbilt and was a weekend guy last year, kind of got bumped out of the weekend into the midweek. Part of the reason why he left there at Vanderbilt was to seek an opportunity like this, sort of a new beginnings. And the lineup isn't posted, and I'm certain Jay Johnson could make a decision to change his lineup or roster, whatever, at this point. But I think we're going to see Christian Little get the ball tonight, and it'll be very interesting to see if they let him extend a bit, because you could let him go maybe one time through the lineup, like we've seen him do with Chase Shores on the weekends, and then, you'd still have a couple of days rest to allow Christian Little to be available this weekend on Friday if you needed him to be so. Obviously what they do at first base, we continue to see Cade Beloso. What do they do in the outfield spots? We continue to see Trey Morgan in left. Is it Kling? Do we see Pearson or Joe Barrett? There's a lot of different questions that are continuously being answered, but I think most importantly tonight, or interesting tonight, is going to be how they manage the pitching staff in this ball game, who gets the work tonight, how they do, as you got one more weekend to go before you open up conference play in College Station a week from Friday. So Tiger basketball, Tiger baseball tonight, and then there's the Pels, as we mentioned, with just it's just so disappointing. And, the more I look at it, the Pels are feeling kind of like the Saints in the second half of the year. What I mean is that it feels like they're done, but mathematically they're not done. You know what I mean? Like, we kept talking throughout the final really 6 weeks of the season with the Saints, like, man, they're done, but everyone else keeps losing, and they're right there. And they were right up until week 17. And you look at the Pels right now, and despite the fact that they just have they've just been brutal since the Zion injury, And 2 months ago, they were in the 1 seed in the West, and they're just a dramatically different team right now. They look listless and disinterested and got smoked by Sacramento 2 nights ago. They come home against Dallas, and the Pels are in the 10 seed. You realize they're the last team in the play-in right now? They hold a tiebreaker over OKC and Portland, which are all 31 and 34. So, it's crazy, but you're the last team in the play-in right now, and you're 2.5 games out of the 5 seed, which is Dallas, who you play tonight. So, incredibly, if you can find a way to get your footing and get some of your swag back, you're there. I don't know that I believe that's going to happen, but as long as mathematically they're in it, we have to talk about it. So, it's another big opportunity for New Orleans tonight at home against Dallas, a team they're looking up at in the Western Conference, and an opportunity to go get a win and maybe start to generate a little bit of mo before you head toward the postseason. So a really busy slate tonight with a lot of the local teams on the floor and on the diamond. All right, it's after further review. The other thing, too, that we are going to spend plenty of time today, LSU does open up spring football tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, they'll be on the practice field, 7:55 a.m. is the media availability. Wilson Alexander, the advocate, will be with us to start hour 2. To start hour 3, I'll give you my biggest storylines for spring football, so a lot of LSU football to get to today. Let me knock out a break. When we come back, there is an NFC South team that continues the purge. We're going to talk about that, and I do want to talk about a free agent the Saints have already added, doing so yesterday, what that may mean in the secondary and on the defensive side of the ball. So we'll get to that as we continue. We're glad you're with us here on a Hump Day edition of AFR presented by Pluckers. Don't you move.
AFR.
Brought to you by ProCharge. ProChargeEV.com. You see electric vehicles everywhere. What you don't see are EV chargers. Well, companies like ProCharge and, of course, our federal government, state government, are aiming to fix that. I'm not sure if you saw, but the city of New Orleans launched an EV fleet of city parish vehicles. You're seeing them more and more and more. One of the things I like to say is this isn't a political conversation. It's just technology. If you're interested, cool. If not, no biggie. But the bottom line is EV production is ramping up to scale, and chargers have to be there. ProCharge is there to help with that supply, and they're a local company. So ProChargeEV.com is where you can go to find out more for your commercial building. If you need it for your home, your residential charger, they got that as well. Go to ProCharge EV to learn more. Maybe you're an auto dealer and you need EV chargers. Maybe it's for your commercial business. ProCharge EV can help. ProChargeEV.com.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Louisiana. It's a place defined by culture, by pride, by passion, by people who do more than love this place. They celebrate it, elevate it, champion it. They are the individuals who embody what makes Louisiana great. The companies that make Louisiana a better place to work and live. The nonprofits leading transformational change in our communities. Champions of Louisiana are all around us, and LWCC is proud to celebrate them because we've always been Louisiana loyal, supporting the workers, the innovators, the change agents of this great place we call home. Who are the champions around you? Together, we can share their stories. Together, we can help our home state thrive. Together, we are Louisiana loyal. Always.
At Auctioner, We know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
I had to leave my parents. I had to move schools. I don't know anyone here. Everything keeps changing. Why is this happening to me? I'm sure glad.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Hey, remember, a week from tomorrow, opening day of March Madness, our lineup of shows are all going to be at Pluckers on Bluebonnet. So OTB, Hunt Palmer, and AFR, all from Pluckers on Bluebonnet next Thursday for the kickoff of March Madness. Hopefully y'all can come out and join us. There'll be drink specials, food specials all throughout the day. Come watch basketball. If you're playing hooky, we'll be at Pluckers on Bluebonnet. Hopefully you can come join us, again, a week from tomorrow at Pluckers on Bluebonnet. All right, it's after further review. Big news this week is the Saints adding Derek Carr. The maybe less heralded news is that the Saints have added former Seahawks safety Ugo Amadi. So this news did break while we were on air Tuesday, but I did a little more digging on it today, and it's I kind of am intrigued by the move. A little bit of background. So Ugo Amadi was a 4-star cornerback out of Nashville who went to Oregon and played a ton of football for the Ducks. He played 51 games with 34 starts during his time there in Eugene. Now, he signed as a corner, played corner, but in his time in the NFL, he was drafted by the Seahawks, and then was traded to Philly, and then traded to Tennessee, and then ultimately released by Tennessee and picked up by the Chiefs. So he was on the Chiefs practice squad when they won the Super Bowl this year. But you have a guy who during his NFL career has played corner, safety, and has been a really good special teamer. So when you look at what the Saints are likely doing here, at the safety spot, they've got Tyrann Mathieu and Marcus May. They're starters on the roster. Remember, they signed Smoke Monday last year, who unfortunately suffered an injury, and now Amadi. So that's your 4 safeties that you have under contract. The guys that the Saints had at that position a year ago, the other guys are all unrestricted free agents. That's P.J. Williams, that's Daniel Sorensen, that's Justin Evans. So all those guys are unrestricted free agents. So really you're kind of looking at, okay, well, who fits that mold of what Amadi can provide? A safety with corner cover skills that can also help on special teams. Well, that's kind of all 3 guys. And Justin Evans, former second-round pick at Tampa, has been a really good special teams player throughout his career. Maybe that's a spot where they're just looking to get younger at that position. Marcus Robertson, the new defensive backs coach, Chris Richard, the co-DC, we know has left the Saints. So Marcus Robertson coming in as the new secondaries coach. Is this something where it's a guy that he sort of pinpointed and liked and wanted to bring in the secondary? There's no connection there with Amadi and Robertson in their past. Robertson had been with the Arizona Cardinals the last 4 years. But, you're starting to get some new blood there in the secondary. And honestly, I like the Saints secondary already. Maybe the numbers are skewed a bit because the run defense was so bad, but the Saints secondary last year was second in the NFL in passing yards allowed. So second in the NFL in pass defense last year, behind only Philadelphia. So your secondary, and remember, Marshawn Lattimore missed 10 games last year. Paulson Adebo, who was just the star of training camp, then suffered the injury and really struggled throughout the year to get back fully healthy. So with an injured Adebo and Lattimore missing 10 games, you were still second in the NFL in passing yards allowed. A big part of that was the emergence of Alontae Taylor and a lot of guys stepping up. And yes, I do understand because you were so bad in the run game, a lot of teams ran the ball successfully against you, and when you were losing, teams weren't passing against you late in the game. So some of that is skewed a bit, but the numbers are still what they are. I mean, you played a 17-game schedule and were second in the NFL in passing yards allowed with your two best corners missing a chunk of the season. So I like the Saints secondary. That's not an issue. That's not an area, I should say, where you go into this offseason thinking they've really got to start to upgrade there. You got two corners and nickel that you really like. You got your starting safeties both back. Hopefully they stay healthy this year, and you get a great season out of both Matthew and May. And then you start to add really nice depth pieces like Ugo Amadi. That's not a guy that you'd expect to start, but if he can help you on special teams, he's a safety with cover skills. You can play him in the nickel. You can play him in the slot. You got a versatile piece there in your secondary. So I do like it. I think the big question, the really big question for the Saints defensively this offseason is that defensive line. Like we've talked about. I mean, that's the spot where you got to make a decision. David Onyemata's a free agent. Are you bringing him back? Do you go sign another defensive line free agent? We've seen Jerron Reed as a guy who I think ESPN has projected would be a great signee for the New Orleans Saints. Do they address defensive tackle in the draft? Brian Bresee out of Clemson is who Todd McShay mocked most recently to New Orleans at 29. So that defensive line is going to be the spot they have to address. Safety, it feels like you're just supplementing, and they did that on Tuesday, adding Ugo Amadi. All right, it's after further review. If you want to join us, you can email us, you can tweet us, you can jump in the Bayou Ford YouTube chat, you can text us in the 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. Lots of ways you can get involved. Love telling you about South Point Volkswagen. SouthPointVW.com. I was talking about ProCharge just a minute ago. Of course, all the EVs that are becoming more and more plentiful. South Point has the all-new ID4. That's the all-electric SUV for everyone. You can go reserve yours right now on the website. Go to southpointvw.com. You'll see right there on the homepage it says make your reservation. The ID4 is available. They got a couple of them on the lot, actually. So if you want to go, if you've never driven an EV and you want to go test drive one, you can go test drive the Volkswagen ID4 at South Point today. It's pretty amazing. I was looking, where do you put the key in the ignition? There is no key. You don't even push started or anything. You just get in and you drive. It's pretty wild. Anyway, check it out. The all-new ID4 is available at South Point Volkswagen, or if you're looking for something else, you can go to the website, search the inventory, new or certified pre-owned. It's all there for you. Search by year, make, model, body, style, price. It's at South Point Volkswagen, Louisiana's largest volume Volkswagen dealer. South Point Volkswagen, what's your direction? So the Saints are now the betting favorite to win the NFC South. We know that. Talked about it. DraftKings has the Saints at plus 130, so they're the betting favorite to win the South. This will be the first time since 1973 that every team in the same division will have a new starting quarterback year to year. The last time it happened was in the AFC West in 1973. So, of course, with the Saints adding Derek Carr, that means Jameis Winston won't be the starting quarterback next year. We know that. Tom Brady won't be back. Baker Mayfield is not in Carolina, and clearly Marcus Mariota has already been released in Atlanta. So all four teams in the NFC South will have a new starting quarterback. And so it's going to be an interesting test case watching the division this year to see how the different approaches, how each team is approaching their rebuild differently, and what manner is most successful. For example, the Saints are still trying to win. That much is clear. They are holding on to their veteran players. They just signed Derek Carr. The Saints see an open door in a weak division to add a good starting quarterback to win the division, go to the playoffs, and see if you can make a run. Carolina has built a good, talented young roster. They very well could be drafting their franchise quarterback this year with a top 10 pick. We'll see what Carolina elects to do. Atlanta has really worked on rebuilding their roster as well. After their purge, they let Matt Ryan go. They let Julio Jones go. Atlanta purged, and they're trying to rebuild their roster. Is Desmond Ridder the guy? Do they draft another quarterback this year? Remains to be seen. Do they go after Lamar Jackson? I know what they've said publicly, but that's another manner of going about doing it. And Tampa now is in full-on fire sale the thing. It's like what the Marlins did after both of their World Series championships. Everything we have good, come on, take it. And the latest move is that Tampa has released their starting left tackle, Donovan Smith. Now, Donovan Smith had a really rough year this past season in Tampa. He was objectively their worst offensive lineman. It was his worst NFL season, as a matter of fact. His pass rush win rate was 78%. His run block win rate was 64%. It was a brutal year for Donovan Smith. He was also one of the most penalized tackles in the league. In fairness, he did battle some really significant injuries, but he was expensive. He had a $17.9 million cap hit for this year. His release opens up almost $10 million. Remember, Tampa against the cap was in a very similar situation to New Orleans. They entered the offseason $55 million over the cap. So what with New Orleans with their approach to the cap in years prior. And this is a real obvious illustration of two teams who took a very similar approach and to get where they were in competing for championships and are now taking very different approaches in how they're moving forward past their Hall of Fame quarterback. So the Saints, we know what they did, right? I mean, they restructured contracts. They took on dead cap money. They put themselves in a very bad cap situation to try to surround Drew Brees with talent to win a championship before he retired. It didn't happen. Tampa did the exact same thing when they brought in Tom Brady. And look at all the free agents they brought in. If it was Gronk, if it was Leonard Fournette, it was Kyle Rudolph a year ago. I mean, you all know the drill. I mean, they just kept on trying to add pieces however they had to do it and make the numbers work to try to get a championship with Tom Brady. And they did it in 2020 and then fell short the last 2 years. But now Tom Brady's retired, and you look at this roster, and you're way over the cap. You don't have a good starting quarterback situation. You've got some talent, but you've got to mess with the cap. Tampa could do what the Saints are doing, which is say, look, we still got a lot of talented players. Let's see what we can do to keep shuffling the deck and bring in a starting caliber quarterback. What if we trade for Lamar Jackson? What if we sign Derek Carr? Who's out there that could maybe get us right back into contention? But Tampa's not doing that. They're doing the exact opposite of what New Orleans is doing. Tampa is yard sailing everything. They've released Donovan Smith. We know that they're going to release Leonard Fournette. And it's Cameron Brate is expected, their tight end, Cameron Brate is expected to be released as well. So Tampa is going into this offseason doing what a lot of people kind of, yours truly, we're hoping the Saints would do. Acknowledge what you are, cut bait, minimize your losses, accept your losses for what they are, and start building toward a future again. Maybe it's a step back to take 3 steps forward. Instead, the Saints continue to double down. Tampa is in rebuild mode. And it's like, I know I've used this analogy before, but it's like going to the casino. And, both the Saints and the Bucs gambled. They gambled. And unfortunately for New Orleans, they didn't win their Super Bowl. Tampa did. And now the Saints keep going back to the ATM to get more cash to try to make back what they lost. And meanwhile, Tampa's like, hey, look, we won our Super Bowl. We're good. We can push away from the table. We can cut our losses for the last 2 years and start to rebuild moving forward. That's what Denver did after Peyton Manning retired, but they won their Super Bowl. The hardest part for the Saints is they never got back to the top of the mountain with Drew Brees. They were all in with that approach and came up short. And instead of acknowledging you missed, cut your losses, and move on, they continue to go to the ATM, get more cash, and going right back to that table, pushing all their chips in, trying to hit that jackpot. And my fear is, in so doing, you're just digging the hole deeper and deeper and deeper. So 4 teams in the NFC South, all 4 with very different approaches as they're rebuilding post their franchise quarterbacks. Cam Newton, Matt Ryan, Tom Brady, and, of course, Drew Brees. 4 different approaches for all the teams in the division. How they move through it is going to be fascinating to watch throughout the NFL. All right, it's After Further Review. Hump Day Show is brought to you by Pluckers. Let me knock on a break. We'll go around the SEC, a little Bourbon Dictionary with Taylor Calandro in about 15 minutes from right now. We'll talk to Wilson Alexander, a little LSU spring football preview in 30 minutes from right now. Glad you're hanging out with us here. Don't you move. It's AFR.
AFR.
All right, y'all, we're steamrolling toward the weekend. Not quite here yet, but when the weekend is here, what a time to get in the garden and just plant something. Go see our friends at Clegg's Nursery. You can go any day of the week over to Clegg's. Open 7 days a week. Of course, if you need flowers and plants, they've got full greenhouses with shipments arriving daily. You want to plant those rose bushes to add beautiful rose bushes to your garden. You can do it right now. You want the hanging baskets. They've got those as well. You want garden and yard decor. They've got it at Clegg's Nursery. Speaking of your yard, maybe as you're seeing everything green up a little bit, you're noticing that after the winter months, you've got weeds coming through in your lawn. If you're not sure what to do about that, Clegg's Nursery has their weed-killing cocktail. Their horticulturists have the know-how, so just go to Clegg's, find one of their great employees, ask them for help, and they'd be more than happy to help you. It's at Clegg's Nursery. Buy local, shop local. Clegg's has been helping the greater Baton Rouge area for more than 60 years. Go see our friends today at Clegg's Nursery.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Hi, I'm Brandon Landry, founder and CEO of Walker.
Hi, my name is Dr. Craig Green.
This is Ryan Terrio with HUDCORoofing.com.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. No matter how big your commercial roofing job, HUDCO can help.
My patients come to me because they trust that I can get the job done at a high level. Ryan Terrio and Richard Tilley have the same level of trust when it comes to roofing.
If you have a roofing issue, call HUDCO Roofing.
Give us a call, 364-1007, and we'll come to your house and give you a free inspection.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Louisiana. It's a place defined by culture, by pride, by passion, by people who do more than love this place. They celebrate it, elevate it, champion it. They are the individuals who embody what makes Louisiana great. The companies that make Louisiana a better place to work and live. The nonprofits leading transformational change in our communities. Champions of Louisiana are all around us, and LWCC is proud to celebrate them because we've always been Louisiana loyal, supporting the workers, the innovators, the change agents of this great place we call home. Who are the champions around you? Together, we can share their stories. Together, we can help our home state thrive. Together, we are Louisiana.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
All right, moving along. Taylor Calandro, Dual Bourbon Dictionary, about 10 minutes from right now. Get your questions in. You got a booze question, fire away. You can email me. You can tweet your booze question at Matt Moscona.
Hey, Twitter world.
Thank you, Juice. You can jump in the Bayou Ford YouTube chat on the Watch 1045 ESPN YouTube channel. You can text your question, 225-396-4400, 396-4400. Many of you may know that I co-host a podcast with Jonathan Pixley from Matchpoint. It's an NIL podcast. And today we had the episode is live. We had the opportunity today to interview John Ruiz. John Ruiz is the billionaire attorney, businessman, the CEO of Life Wallet, who is the very prominent University of Miami supporter, but don't call him a booster. He was very adamant today that he is not a booster, and he clarified that in the episode. Maybe most interestingly is that last month, the NCAA handed out its first NIL-related penalties to the University of Miami because of a photo that surfaced, in large part, a photo that surfaced with John Ruiz and the Calandro twins, who were being recruited by the University of Miami. The photo was at John Ruiz's home, and Ruiz very plainly talked about how the NCAA is flat wrong, even in their research and characterization of the details of what was alleged to have happened.
Now, when you look at the report and you read it, it says that I gave them a meal and that I had improper contact. Well, the first thing is that it's factually incorrect to say that they had a meal here. They had a meal here after they were under contract, not before. Those two young ladies themselves did not eat anything in my house. I believe they ate after they left my house. So that was factually incorrect, but they never reached out to me to clarify that. I'm not sure who they spoke to, and they never reached out to me before they ended up with all their findings. And maybe because it doesn't affect me, right? They have no jurisdiction over me. They have jurisdiction over the University of Miami and the athletes, but what they were trying to do is push for a disassociation between the University of Miami and myself, which I find to be problematic, on top of everything else, because they're trying to single me out because I have a very good platform, and maybe they don't like it. Maybe they don't like the fact that I'm transparent and that we put all these commercials out there with the kids and so on and so forth. I don't know what the reason is, but obviously it didn't work because there is no disassociation.
He did also tell us that he is suing the NCAA. A report that Ross Dellinger had last week was that had the NCAA gone after John Ruiz, he would have sued the NCAA. He did clarify to us that he is suing the NCAA. So we have a man whose net worth is estimated around $20 billion. Let me say that again. John Ruiz's net worth is estimated at $20 billion. And he's suing the NCAA, and he went into a lot of detail about why he is not a booster, the ROI of his NIL deals. We only had about 20 minutes with him. I understand. The man's a billionaire. He's got a lot going on. But he gave us 20 minutes, and I was super grateful for it. And I think we're going to be able to have him again and maybe have a little more long-form conversation. But if you want to check it out, however you get your podcasts, just search Rosters to Riches. Please subscribe to the podcast. It's me, Jonathan Pixley from Matchpoint. Of course, MatchpointConnection.com. Everybody knows about Matchpoint. Download the Matchpoint app. They do a great job. They're basically a third party that acts as the intermediary between the athlete and the business to connect them for NIL opportunities. So anyway, Matchpoint Connection, and check out Rosters to Riches. Great conversation with a billionaire, John Ruiz. I think it's the first time I've ever first time I've ever interviewed a billionaire. Yeah, I guess so. Probably the first time I've ever interviewed a billionaire. All right, it's After Further Review. We're brought to you by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Bluebonnet in Baton Rouge, Ambassador Caffrey in Lafayette, online, theantiagingclinics.com, theantiagingclinics.com. You can always get free consultations. Remember that. Would always recommend you go do your blood labs. You should do that anyway. You should always do your semi-annual blood work, no matter, if you're a healthy person, you should always have a doctor look at your blood labs. And again, at the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, it's Dr. Todd Howell that you meet with. You're meeting with a medical doctor. A medical doctor is overseeing your care, not a hormone specialist or some of these other clinics call them. You're meeting with a medical doctor, Dr. Todd Howell at the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. And all this month, they always have great specials. A new patient special is $100 off a facial filler, $13 a unit on wrinkle relaxant. But remember, if it's vitamins or medical-grade vitamins and supplements, they've got those. Skincare products, if it's Botox or body contouring, fillers, lipo, and HRT, like we always talk about, it's the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online, theantiagingclinics.com. Okay, Taylor Calandro in about 5 minutes right now. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products, excellence in imaging solutions.
It was a busy day around the conference in baseball last night. Let me catch up on some final scores. Missouri at home blanked Western Illinois 6-0. Kentucky a 6-2 winner over Murray State. Arkansas was in a tight one against Army, but the 8th-ranked Hogs pull it out 7-5. That was in Fayetteville. Vandy, no issues with Tennessee Tech. They're a 12-1 winner. Florida and FAU got into a scoring match, 18-11. The Gators win it. Georgia, 17-11 over Georgia Southern. The big one of the day, in 10 innings, Boston College went to Knoxville and upended the 3rd-ranked Vols. BC wins it 7-6, so clearly Tennessee's season is over. Alabama beats Samford. That was in Birmingham, 11-6 the final. The Crimson Tide get the win. Mississippi State a 12-2 winner at home against Valpo. Auburn beats UAB 4-1. That was at Plainsman Park. Texas A&M, no issues with Incarnate Word, 13-5, your final there. South Carolina beats up on the Citadel 8-1, and Ole Miss slugs past Southern Miss, a ranked midweek matchup there. The fourth-ranked Rebs and defending champs win it 11-5. More action tonight in the Southeastern Conference on the Diamond. Already underway, Kentucky is hosting Ohio U in Lexington. The Bobcats currently with a 2-0 lead on Kentucky. Later tonight, Vandy hosts Evansville. Georgia is at Georgia Southern in Statesboro. Florida hosts FAU. South Carolina is on the road in Spartanburg against SC Upstate. Bama hosts Alabama State tonight. Auburn in Jacksonville, Alabama against the Gamecocks of Jacksonville State. As we know, LSU will host Lamar. And Texas A&M is on the road in Houston to take on Rice. There you have it. That is Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products. Shout out to our guy Trey Beal and our friends at Gulf Coast Office Products. You know where to find them, gcopnet.com, gcopnet.com for Gulf Coast Office Products. Face-to-face sales, service after the sale. That's what you get at Gulf Coast Office Products. We are, all right, Bourbon Dictionary with Taylor Calandro coming up right here around the bend. And in the SEC tournament tonight, of course, LSU is going to take on Georgia. That's the second game tonight at the SEC tournament. I haven't made any picks for the SEC men's basketball tournament. Usually, you'll get a team that might make a run. The other game tonight is Ole Miss at South Carolina, and I do look at Ole Miss and year one for South Carolina and Lamont Evans up there. But I look at Ole Miss as a team with Kermit Davis having been fired as the team that can go for broke and is maybe a little dangerous, as we saw with. Look, LSU went to Oxford and played in the first game after Kermit Davis had been fired, and you had the interim bump, and LSU got clipped there in Oxford. So I do look at Ole Miss tonight. I would expect Ole Miss to win that game against South Carolina, and I'm curious if maybe the Rebs might not be able to go on a little bit of a run. If you're looking for that team in the bottom four who might be able to make a run, maybe surprise a couple of people, Ole Miss might be my pick there. All right, it's after further review. We'll knock out a quick break. You know the drill. It's a hump day. It's a Whiskey Wednesday. So we always chat with our buddy Taylor Calandro from Calandro. So get your questions in. Little Bourbon Dictionary when we return to wrap up hour number 1 on AFR.
AFR.
Buying or selling commercial or residential, you know the drill. Call Darren James and get your home sold. I tell you all the time that nobody works harder to get your home sold faster for more money than Darren James. And the proof is in the pudding. He gets results. Darren is on the Wall Street Journal's list of the top 1% of realtors in America. If you need to sell your home, you need to do it quickly, you need to make the most amount of money, you need Darren James. 335-7666, 335-7666, or agent225.com. That's agent225.com. And if you want to see the marketing plan that I tell you all the time about, that gigantic marketing plan Darren has to get your home sold faster for more money, it's easy. Just text the word plan to 88,000. That's PLAN. Do it right now. You'll get an immediate response. Text the word plan, PLAN, to 88000 for Darren James.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
At Corville Toyota in Opelousas, you can get 3.99% financing on select 2023 models. And as always, you will never pay over MSRP. We also have a large selection of pre-owned inventory. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corville Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
Hey, it's Matt Musso. Join me Monday through Friday for your daily update on LSU baseball with Musso at the Box, presented by New Orleans Flooring. Wherever you get your podcast, Apple, Spotify, Google, and check out New Orleans Flooring. 2 locations, Metairie and Prairieville, or NOLAFlooring.com.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
I had to leave my parents. I had to move schools. I don't know anyone here. Everything keeps changing. Why is this happening to me? I'm sure glad you're here.
Change a child's story. There's a child in foster care waiting for a volunteer like you.
Hi, I'm Brandon Landry, founder and CEO of Walker.
Hi, my name is Dr. Craig Green.
This is Ryan Terrio with HUDCORoofing.com.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. No matter how big your commercial roofing job, HUDCO can help.
My patients come to me because they trust that I can get the job done at a high level. Ryan Terrio and Richard Tilley have the same level of trust when it comes to roofing.
If you have a roofing issue, call HUDCO Roofing.
Give us a call, 364-1007, and we'll come to your house and give you a free inspection.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
They're the gang with the slang. This is Bourbon Dictionary with Matt Moscona and Taylor Calandro.
All right, wrapping up hour number 1. We do it every Wednesday on Whiskey Wednesday. We welcome aboard our buddy Taylor Calandro to answer your booze questions. How are you, dude?
Good. How are you, man?
I'm good. Who's the richest person you've ever spoken with?
Oh, man. I don't know. Let me think about that. I'm not sure.
All right.
Who's the richest person you've ever spoken with?
Well, I interviewed John Ruiz today, the Miami billionaire, for our NIL podcast, who's got an estimated net worth of $20 billion. So he's clearly number one on the list. And I don't know.
That's hard to beat.
Yeah.
A lot of money.
I'm trying to think of, like, professional sports franchise owners that I've had the chance to speak with in the past. I mean, Ty Graves.
You don't regularly rub shoulders with billionaires?
No.
That seems like something you would do.
No, I don't.
No, I mean, I deal with one billionaire client, but I've never actually met the guy. So,
who?
I don't want to say his name, but he's a crypto guy.
Why is that so weird for people? Like, why are people funny about money? I don't know why people are funny when they talk about money. It's odd.
Well, when I met the people that I'm dealing with this guy, they told me I couldn't repeat who it was. So
I get it. But again, I get it. I'm not saying for you to do it. It's just weird
I don't know.
that people are
I
funny.
have no
about
idea.
All right, hey, what's new?
So we are getting the new High Noon tequila seltzers at the end of the week, which is basically just High Noon with tequila instead of vodka.
Okay.
I'm pretty excited about those. And we're still rolling through some of that Murphy double IPA from Paris Brewing. I don't know if you've had that. It's really good. That came out last week.
Is that the beer is it like a DIPA? Is that see what that is? Like I saw that on the can with the dog on it.
Yes. So that.
Dude, what
that
is going on
Murphy.
over there? What's going on over there?
My kid.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Murphy was Andrew, the guy that owns Parrish. That was his dog that died of cancer a couple years ago.
Oh, man, that's
so the beer was made in honor of Murphy. It's really, really good. I tried it over the weekend too.
I'll pick some up. So is DIPA, is that a double IPA?
Yeah. So
Okay, cool.
it's a double IPA. It's super like passion fruity. The yeast, he used a new type of yeast, and it's really passion fruity if you're into passion fruit.
Okay.
So it's nice.
Okay.
We don't have a ton left, but we do have a couple cases left.
Okay, you'll get on by and pick it up over there at Calandro's. All right, let's get some questions. Harold Mobile said, this might be sacrilege, but what do you think is the best peanut butter bourbon? I guess peanut butter whiskey.
Screwball.
Yeah, I'm going to disagree. I'm going with peanut butter whiskey.
Is that the one from Old Elk?
That is the one from Old Elk.
That one's good, too.
And my guy, Luis, I would pour Screwball down the drain. I told him, I actually did pour a bottle of Screwball down the drain one time because he told me he had one. So I was like, I sent him a video of me pouring Screwball down the drain.
They're both, I mean, if you like peanut butter, they're both really good.
I'm loyal to my guy.
I love peanut butter.
I do love peanut butter as well. All right, Dathan Grants said, Taylor, what's the most expensive alcoholic beverage you've ever had?
I've had Balvenie 50, and that is the most expensive thing I've ever had and the most expensive thing I ever will have.
What? Sorry.
Balvenie 50 starts at like $50,000 a bottle.
Holy moly.
I heard in Vegas
wow.
you can get a pour for like $7,000 or $8,000, something like that.
That's such a waste. Being in Vegas this past weekend, I mentioned I went to SW Steak, which is a wonderful steakhouse. I would recommend it, but they had some of the B-Tax and they had some of the Van Winkles. I think they were selling, if I remember this correctly, I think they were selling a pour of the Van Winkle 15 for like $380 an ounce. And I was like,
so let me stop you with this Vegas conversation. Vegas is run by the casinos. The casinos pay for everything for everybody there. So they put prices on this stuff because they know that they're not going to bat an eye at it when they're paying for whatever high-end client they're sending to a restaurant or a show or whatever it is.
Right. I'm not in any way dismissing any of that. I wasn't going to pay it.
That's way too much.
Yeah, that's absurd. Let's see. Rob Neely says, ask Taylor, thoughts on 4-Gate Batch 23. He bought it for a friend.
I've had one of the 4-Gates, and I really, really enjoyed it. I haven't had that one specifically, but the 4-Gate that I did have, I enjoyed it. And I'm kind of kicking myself because we used to have it, and it sat for a while. Now we can't get it anymore, and I'm starting to hear really good things about it. I just never bid on it because it was kind of overpriced, in my opinion. But
a few months back, we did the 4-Gate trilogy as the break-even over at Oliver Twist for Scone and Tea, and it was good. But I would agree the price point on it is high.
I think some are better than others.
Yes, absolutely.
And I can't remember which one I tried. I think it was a Blue Label, but I remember it being good.
Greg Lehman asked Taylor, does Calandro's carry Live Oak Brewing beers?
We do not, and he's probably asking because the Live Oak Hefe, I think. Live Oak Hefe is one of the best, just crispy, light beers on earth, but they're from Texas, and we don't get them yet.
So when I was flying home from Vegas on Sunday, we had a layover in Austin. As I told the story, is why he's asking the question. And I was I was waiting, had a layover, and so I had a sandwich and I drank a beer, and I was like, well, what's your local beer? And it was that one. It was the Hefeweizen.
Live Oak Hefe. It is like the Texas beer besides Shinerbach.
It was very good. I never had it, but I really did enjoy it. It was very good.
It's a very simple style, super old school, but done very, very, very well.
Craig Duke asked Taylor, is the Heaven Hill Heritage 20-year corn whiskey just a glorified double mellow very corn?
Older mellow corn? Yes, I do believe. And they're starting to do some different things with mellow corn. I think there's going to be a mellow corn single barrel program at some point in the next couple of years, which is interesting.
Brett DeGrow, let's get a couple minutes here. Brett DeGrow asked Taylor, is K. Luke worth $100 a bottle? What's K. Luke?
K. Luke?
K. Luke, Luke.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, I don't know either. Weird. Garrett Pizzolatto, he said,
not ring a bell to me.
He asked, what's the beer from Texas again? So the brewery is Live Oak.
Live Oak.
The brewery is Live Oak, and it's a Hefeweizen, so you call it Live Oak Hefe is what you said?
Yeah. It's a Hefeweizen. I'll just call it a Hefe. That's just short term. But yeah, you can find that beer literally anywhere in Texas. Anywhere. Any gas station in Texas has it.
I drank it at an airport, so that would sound.
It's really good. It's just a really good beer.
All right, last one. To ask Taylor, what cocktail would you serve to the richest person you've ever spoken with?
It would be a pour of scotch of some sort. That was really expensive. It would not be a cocktail.
I'm a scotch, man. I'm just not scotch.
It would have to be a super high-end cognac or scotch, just neat. And I just want to talk. That's it. No cocktails.
Okay. All right. Yeah. We will be at Oliver Twist tonight. Break Even Pour is E.H. Taylor Small Batch. And, $6 a pour. And T-Bob's got some weird drink that's going to be his cocktail of the night. So
is it like goblin juice or
it's
something?
Like Death by Sunrise or something like that is what it's called. It's going to be delicious, I'm sure. But
it's going to be just loaded with sugar and.
If it's alcohol, T-Bob will slug it. So that's what it is. All right, he's Taylor Calandro from Calandro's. Thanks as always for the time, dude.
All right, Matt. Thanks.
All right, be well. It is a Whiskey Wednesday. We appreciate Taylor for joining us for Bourbon Dictionary. We'll now get a quick break. Sports Center gets caught up on national headlines. When we come back, LSU spring practice preview with Wilson Alexander. Stay here.
AFR.
Brought to you by Shawbills Tire and Auto Service. ShawBillsTire.com. Shawbills is home of the Charlie's Dozen. That's a dozen benefits extended to your vehicle when you buy tires at Shawbills. But the thing about Shawbills is, of course, they'll sell you name brand tires at wholesale prices, right? They'll sell you the best tires on the road. Michelin, BF Goodrich, Bridgestone, Firestone, name brand tires at wholesale prices. But when you buy tires at Shawbills, they treat you so great that you're going to come back year after year after year for all of your auto service, all of your maintenance. So shop them online. You can shop tires online. You can schedule service, schedule maintenance online. It's all there for you. You can chat with an associate. There's a little text bubble if you'd rather text than chat. You can do that at the website as well. Go to ShawBillsTire.com. Shawbill's been around for more than 50 years, and they treat you like family. It's just the way Mr. Charlie demanded it when he opened up shop more than 50 years ago. Shawbills, we keep you rolling.
I'm Chris Nakamoto, and here's what I'm working on for my stories on WBRZ Channel 2 tonight. A prosecutor from Lafayette accused of felony hit and run, negligent injuring, and careless operation from a hit and run boating crash 2 years ago is still awaiting trial on those charges. The investigative unit learning from sources he's being considered for an appointed judge position now. Tonight, the investigative unit looks into the delay for Chris Richard. I'm Chris Nakamoto from WBRZ. Watch more tonight on WBRZ Channel 2.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Louisiana. It's a place defined by culture, by pride, by passion, by people who do more than love this place. They celebrate it, elevate it, champion it. They are the individuals who embody what makes Louisiana great. The companies that make Louisiana a better place to work and live. The nonprofits leading transformational change in our communities. Champions of Louisiana are all around us, and LWCC is proud to celebrate them because we've always been Louisiana loyal, supporting the workers, the innovators, the change agents of this great place we call home. Who are the champions around you? Together, we can share their stories. Together, we can help our home state thrive. Together, we are Louisiana loyal. Always.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
I had to leave my parents. I had to move schools. I don't know anyone here. Everything keeps changing. Why is this happening to me? I'm sure glad you're here.
Change a child's story. There's a child in foster care waiting for a volunteer like you.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Breaking news. Police in Glendale, Colorado have closed their investigation into a video that appeared to show Memphis Grizzlies star Ja Morant showing off a gun inside a nightclub last Friday. The police department says there wasn't enough evidence available to charge anybody with a crime. The NBA is still investigating the incident independently. Morant remains away from the team indefinitely. A day after signing quarterback Daniel Jones to a 4-year, $160 million contract, the Giants have now turned their attention to running back Saquon Barkley, explains GM Joe Shane.
We put the franchise tag on him, so we've had deals out, whether it's the bye week or recently, and we're going to continue to negotiate. We love Saquon. He's a good teammate. He's a captain. He's a hell of a player. So, right now he's under the franchise tag, and as we build the team and, continue with our offseason plan, we'll do what's best for the team, and, we're still mapping that out.
The franchise tag for Barkley, $10 million for 2023. Shane also said the team has started negotiations with defensive tackle Dexter Lawrence, who is slated to play on the 5th-year option of his rookie contract.
Get ready for Champions, the hilarious new movie starring Woody Harrelson. Woody's a hot-headed basketball coach who's in over his head when he's court-ordered to manage a team with intellectual disabilities and a whole lot of attitude. Champions, only in theaters Friday. Rated PG-13.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge. Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
That's right.
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
You're a loser, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Musso. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. LSU is on the practice field Thursday morning to open up spring drills. Year 2 of the Brian Kelly era. The preparation officially begins tomorrow. Wilson Alexander of The Advocate. It never gets old. Good enough to join us for a couple minutes here. How are you, dude?
I'm good. How are you, Matt?
I'm doing really well. Let's start. So you got an opportunity to speak with Brian Kelly here recently?
Yes, we had a one-on-one over at the football ops building yesterday afternoon.
How would you describe, so covering Brian Kelly year 1, which when he was hired really was a whirlwind, just getting the roster and everything together, going through year 1. How would you describe your general opinion, take, feel around Brian Kelly here as he starts in year 2?
It's kind of funny. At the end of our interview yesterday, we sort of joked about how quiet the offseason's been. And it just shows, I think, the difference between year 1 and year 2. Because like you said, that first year last year was all about bringing in new people and getting to know everybody and resetting culture and habits. And it was like a whirlwind was a great way to put it. And this year has been so much more calm because we only had the one staff change. Obviously, there was roster turnover that's sort of typical for an offseason, especially at this era of college football with the transfer portal. But there's just so much more is set now. And now Brian Kelly said because all that stuff is kind of in place, and while they have to continue to work on habits and standards and that kind of stuff, this spring is much more about actual football and skill development and things that while they were working on last year wasn't the sole focus.
Let's talk about some of the personnel things. I know you went through with Brian Kelly some of the injuries, guys who aren't going to participate in spring. Of them, what seems most significant?
Let's see. Oh, man. Most significant in what way would you say?
I don't know. I'd leave that open to you. Like for a guy that maybe isn't going to participate in spring that Is there an injury that's more significant, or some of them you maybe felt like needed some of the reps that isn't going to have that opportunity?
Yeah, in terms of injury significance, I don't know if anybody stands out above the rest because Brian Kelly said that all of them are projected to be back by summer workouts. So it's not like somebody at this stage is going to miss week 1 against Florida State. But one person that does stand out to me in terms of opportunity with reps is Charles Turner, because this is already, as we know, a big position at center that LSU was a little bit in flux. Even though Turner held his own, there's always been those questions about his size. And now Marlon Martinez looked pretty good in the reps that he got right at the end of the year, particularly the Citrus Bowl when Turner was kind of only played one series. And so now Marlon Martinez is probably going to get the entire spring at center. And, LSU might rotate some other guys through there, but he's going to have a really good chance to show what he can do at center. And Charles is going to have to then come back in the preseason and kind of hold back onto his spot. And I think it'll be a really interesting competition there. And then everybody else, Deuce Chestnut would be, I think, maybe another one to look at because of the competition at cornerback, he being one of those guys that comes in. But there is that caveat of him already having started for 2 years at Syracuse. He maybe doesn't need all the reps that somebody else might at cornerback, but at the same time, he's another new face in a very crowded position that has yet to be figured out.
Yeah, I'm going to go back to the offensive line for a second because you also broke the news yesterday about the Maryland transfer, Lunsford, who's coming in. Can you give us a little background on how that all came together?
Well, LSU, of course, has been looking for an interior offensive line transfer really all offseason. It started with Jake Renfro from Cincinnati. It offered Ja'Kai Clark from Miami, but neither of them picked LSU. And then when Mason Lunsford entered the transfer portal, LSU offered, within a couple of weeks, he entered back just in February. They had him on campus over the weekend, and Sunday morning before he left, he went to the coach's offices with Brad Davis and Brian Kelly and signed there before he left. Mason told me last night that it was really about, he felt like there was a commitment to winning between the players and the staff, that there was a real chance to win a championship. He's got 2 years of eligibility left, and while Mike Loxley has gotten Maryland to a more competitive place than it used to be, certainly isn't where LSU is at. We're going to compete for SEC titles and so maybe even a college football playoff berth this year. So he wanted to be a part of that. He doesn't mind the competition, and he's looking forward to getting here in the summer.
That's okay. I was going to ask. So he's not going through spring.
No, he's not. Anybody who is signed at this point, it's too late for them to get in for spring ball. So he'll be here in the summer.
Okay, I had thought, maybe my assumption was that he had already enrolled. But he was just here this weekend and then committed, signed this weekend. So he'll be here for summer workouts. Wilson Alexander's with us on Twitter at it's Whalesander _. It's WH Alexander. Spells out Whalesander, which is pretty. I don't know. We laugh about that all the time, Wilson. I think it's funny. At WH Alexander _. Y'all give Wilson a follow. Okay, that's offensive side of the ball. Defensive side of the ball. I think what also stands out when you were talking about a lot of the injuries is there's a lot of defensive linemen that are either going to be out or limited. So where does the opportunity lie there in that defensive front seven?
There's absolutely a number of guys out, Mason being limited, and then Jordan Jefferson, not the quarterback, being out as well, and then Mekhi Wingo being out. It's going to open up a lot of opportunity for guys like Jacobian Guillory and Jalen Lee, the Florida transfer, Tyge Hill, a redshirt freshman, Bryce Langston, who's been on this roster for a little while now and hasn't done a whole lot yet. Guys like that are going to get a lot of reps here in the spring, especially on the defensive interior, to maybe, try to work their way into that rotation come preseason camp. What it does is kind of interesting because there are so many new faces on the defensive front. LSU isn't going to get a great chance to look at them on the field in the spring. That probably won't be too much of an issue, but Brian Kelly did say that, they kind of want to figure out what they've got a little bit defensively. And even if that doesn't happen on the practice field, a lot of that might be more in meetings and kind of having a good idea of who they're going to be relying on come preseason camp, and then let those competitions continue to play out as needed across the defensive front.
All right, a couple more for you. Maybe the biggest story this offseason has been, certainly the last couple of weeks, been the shuffle on the coaching staff, right, with Brian Polian going to an off-field role and then John Jancic being promoted. Wilson, I mean, it's a little odd that you struggled so much in special teams you didn't bring in a full-time special teams coordinator. So what did Brian Kelly talk about, how the roles are going to be divvied up, and do we have any more clarification there?
Absolutely. At the end of the season, Brian Kelly said that he went through all of LSU's errors and tried to basically figure out the root problem. And his takeaway was really that LSU put the ball on the ground, and that's what was, in his mind, the difference. Schematically, in terms of how LSU approached special teams. He liked a lot of what he saw. And so as he went through the interview process, he ended up going internal because he wanted to change the approach to how LSU structures its special teams coaching, but he didn't want to bring in a new one singular voice who was going to install different kinds of schemes and have that sort of same just clear replacement to Brian Polian. And so John Stancic, while he's going to be the special teams coordinator in title and will certainly have a role in special teams, it is what Brian Kelly termed a decentralized operation. So a lot of the assistants are like Brad Davis and Mike Dimbrock are heavily involved in the blocking on PAT and field goal. And then Matt House is heavily involved in kickoff, Robert Steeples and Kerry Cooks in punt. And so a lot of sort of people chipping in. And then it also, as you pointed out, is really big that LSU can use analysts as on-field coaches during practice. And so special teams analyst Lester Erb is going to be a big component to this as well. He was already on staff a year ago as a special teams analyst, and he'll be a big piece of making sure that LSU schemes that Brian Kelly liked are the ones that they continue to use, but the way that it's coached and presented is going to be different.
What about Bob Diaco?
We didn't get a chance to talk about Diaco, and he still isn't actually listed on LSU's website just yet. So we'll have to. I want to see what his title is going to be. If he's a defensive analyst or if he's a special teams analyst. As we in our special teams conversation with Brian yesterday, Diaco didn't come up in that moment, but he could still be somebody who potentially helps with that.
Did he say how they plan to split quarterback reps?
Yes. It's sort of what we heard after the Citrus Bowl, and that they're going to be open-minded with Garrett Nussmeier, and that means that he is going to get first-team reps. At the same time, Jaden Daniels, he is clearly saying, is still the starter. He said that he, quote, earned that right to be the QB1. And Jaden Daniels, something would kind of have to happen by the sound of it. Jaden would have to take a step back, and Garrett would really have to do some extraordinary things to change the pecking order. But they're open to that idea if it were to happen. If Garrett Nussmeier just came in here and blew the doors off of everything, then they will, consider changing their thinking. But as of now, Jaden Daniels is QB1, Garrett's QB2, but he's going to get that opportunity to get first-team reps here in the spring.
Good stuff. He is Wilson Alexander, the advocate. Make sure you follow him on Twitter at WHAlexander_, at WHAlexander_. Spring drills get started Thursday morning for the Tigers out on the Ponderosa. Thanks, Wilson. We appreciate it, man.
Thank you. Have a great afternoon.
Thanks, man. You too. Good stuff there from Wilson. I want to react to some of that because there's two things in particular that really stood out to me, and I'm wondering if you heard the same thing. We'll get to that when we return on AFR.
AFR.
Get Gordon and get it done. Gordon McKernan, Injury Attorneys. You can always go to getgordon.com. That's getgordon.com. Follow Gordon on all of the social media platforms. I love what they're doing on the social media platforms. The Grubbin with Gordon. Most recently, we saw Gordon sit down with Angel Reese from the Lady Tiger basketball team, Emory Jones from the Tiger football team. You get a really good opportunity to get to know some of these student athletes as well. It's a great way that Gordon is continuing to expand what he's doing in the NIL space. Flaugier, of course, from the Lady Tiger basketball team as well. Tell you every day to get Gordon and get it done. The Godfather of NIL, helping so many student athletes throughout the state of Louisiana, but also through the Gordon Gives charitable arm of the law firm, helping so many organizations and charitable causes throughout our state. Just another way that Gordon continues to give back. Remember, if you've been in an accident, it's not your fault. You need representation. Call the best. Call Gordon McKernan, Injury Attorneys. Go to getgordon.com. Get Gordon and get it done.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
At Corvell Toyota in Opelousas, you can get 3.99% financing on select 2023 models. And as always, you will never pay over MSRP. We also have a large selection of pre-owned inventory. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corvell Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
What the? Is that a skag? You've got to be kidding me. Look at those stripes. Oh, and that comfy seat. It's like he's riding on a cloud. We get it, Gary. Your stripes look perfect.
The moment you know you want a skag. Skag. Simply the best.
Hi, I'm Brandon Landry, founder and CEO of Walker.
Hi, my name is Dr. Craig Green.
This is Ryan Terrio with HUDCORoofing.com.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. No matter how big your commercial roofing job, HUDCO can help.
My patients come to me because they trust that I can get the job done at a high level. Ryan Terrio and Richard Tilley have the same level of trust when it comes to roofing.
If you have a roofing issue, call HUDCO Roofing.
Give us a call, 364-1007, and we'll come to your house and give you a free inspection.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
LSU basketball season 1 under Matt McMahon could come to a close tonight. Tigers take on Georgia in the SEC tournament. 8 o'clock is the schedule tip. They're the second game of the day. Ole Miss, South Carolina is the first in the SEC tournament, followed by LSU and Georgia. I'd love to see LSU go on a deep run. I think we all understand what this team is, where they lack talent and opportunity. And Matt McMahon, the more interesting thing is going to be how he continues and how he starts to rebuild this roster moving forward. But one last run. Let's see if the Tigers can go make their run in March and then give us a reason to be excited. By the way, here was Matt McMahon from his coaches show on Monday night talking about these Georgia Bulldogs that they're going to face tonight in Nashville.
The 19 turnovers, just way too much to overcome. So, especially against a team, they force around 10 a game. So we have to do a better job taking care of the ball there. They put an unbelievable amount of pressure on you off the dribble and getting to the free throw line. They just live at the free throw line. So our ability to keep them off the line, protect our paint. We have to do a better job protecting the paint against them. Bridges can really score it down there with his back to the basket. So I think those are some of the areas of emphasis there.
If you want to bet on the game, you can. DraftKings Sportsbook. It's an 8 o'clock tip. Remember, all this week here during the conference tournament season, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use the promo code Baton Rouge. New customers make a $5 pregame money line bet. Like, would you say the Gonzaga, would they win last night by like 40?
It was not. It got a little closer to the end. When I turned on, it was like 77-38.
Yeah. So, like, for example, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. If you made a money line bet, that means just win, no spread, just win. Gonzaga won last night. Here, I'm looking at it. 77-51. Was that they played St. Mary's?
Yeah, St. Mary's.
Okay, so they won 77-51. If you made a money line bet on Gonzaga, $5 money line bet, they'd have just given you $150 in free bets because Gonzaga won the game. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use the promo code Baton Rouge. If you're an existing customer, you can get stepped-up parlays. For every leg you add to your parlay, you got to opt in. There's just a little tab. You just hit opt-in. You'll see it slide over. For every leg you add, they'll give you a 10% boost. So you can add 10 legs to your parlay, get a 100% boost. That's at the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and be sure to use the promo code Baton Rouge. 21 and older, physically present in Louisiana. Select parishes only. Bonus issued as free bets. 1 boost per eligible game. Opt-in required. 10-plus legs required for 100% boost. Deposit, parlay, and wagering restrictions apply. Eligibility and terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/basketball terms. Licensing partner Golden Nugget, Lake Charles. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 1-800-426-2537. Thanks again to Wilson Alexander, who was with us in the last segment from The Advocate. LSU football, year 2 under Brian Kelly. Spring number 2 under Brian Kelly starts tomorrow at 7:55 a.m. They're going to have a couple of practices and then take a week off for spring break and then come back and finish spring. So they're actually extending this spring period longer than what we typically see. But 2 things that Wilson said that really stood out to me. Muse, if you would, do me a favor. Jump back in there. I want the exact terminology that Brian Kelly used when he was talking about how he's divvying up special teams. It was I think it was the second last. The last thing I asked about was quarterbacks. Thing before that was about the coaches. And Brian Kelly used a phrase for how he's dividing special teams. And it was a very diplomatic phrase. I want that exact phrase, how he said, if you could find that for me. The 2 things that stood out most that Wilson said. 1, the quarterback reps. To me, this is fascinating. On one hand, you're saying Jaden Daniels is our starter. He's QB1. He's earned the right. There is no controversy. He's the guy. Okay. On the other hand, you're giving Garrett Nussmeier first-team reps. In the Citrus Bowl, Garrett Nussmeier got every third series. You are, at bare minimum, leaving the door open for the possibility that Garrett Nussmeier could win this job or could at least push Jaden Daniels for reps. I don't know how it's going to play out. To me, this feels like, and I have not had a conversation with Brian Kelly. I do not know this answer. But you already saw Walker Howard walk out the door. And if you go through spring and Jaden is getting all the reps and he's your clear-cut number 1 and all that sort of stuff, it is not outside the realm of possibility that Nussmeier could say, you know what? Let's see if I can play somewhere this year. I'm not saying he's going to do it. I'm not saying he's thinking about that, okay? There were whispers. I heard them, tons of people heard. There were whispers before the SEC championship game that Garrett was looking around. And then he played that second half of the SEC championship game, played well, played in the bowl game, and maybe that settled him a bit. But if you were to go all the way through spring and Garrett didn't sniff a first-team rep, could he look elsewhere? Maybe. And maybe if you're Brian Kelly, you're sitting there thinking, I got to appease 2 quarterbacks because if Nussmeier leaves and Walker is already left, then you're talking about Jaden Daniels, Ricky Collins, and that's it. And that's a tough spot to be in going into the season, especially when you have a mobile quarterback who runs and is always 1 hit away from you having to go into your bench depth. So how they divvy up quarterback reps, to me, is number 1 first and foremost, and how that whole situation plays out, because it feels like they're trying to pacify 2 guys in that situation. Did you get it?
Yes.
Do you have the audio, or can you, or if you have the audio, great. If not, just tell me.
Decentralized organization.
A decentralized
operation. My bad. Operation.
A decentralized operation. That's how Brian Kelly described to Wilson Alexander how they're handling special teams. A decentralized operation. I mean, you can tell this dude has a background in politics. I mean, he described the special teams duties as a decentralized operation. Meaning you're not going to have one voice. You're going to split up all the duties. And in theory, it makes good sense, doesn't it? Hey, why wouldn't you have your offensive line coach work with the blocking scheme on field goal and punt and all that stuff? Why wouldn't you have the guy who his job is to coach the guys that block? Why wouldn't you have your outside linebackers coach, your secondaries coach, work with the guys that are gunners, that are going to make tackles on special teams? Makes sense, right? Sure it does. But I also think, while you can convince yourself that's a good idea, and I think a lot of fans will, and maybe want to give Brian Kelly the benefit of the doubt, and the guy's been a coach a long time, and I'm not trying to question that. But I will say, when I look at Brian Kelly's history as a coach, I don't think he's ever gone to a decentralized operation with his special teams in the past. So it's fair to ask, well, why are you taking this approach now? And Wilson gave the explanation. He liked a lot of what they did. He didn't want to bring in a new voice with new terminology and to make everybody have to relearn something new. I get it. That happens all the time. When you lose coordinators, you lose position coaches. It happens all the time. Every year on every staff, you lose coaches, and someone new comes in and does something a different way. So I'm not sure I believe him. As a matter of fact, I don't believe him. That this was what he wanted to do as far as the best approach. That's not to say it can't work. Sure, it can work. And I sincerely hope it does. Because if you clean up special teams, which was the most glaring blemish that you had a year ago, you were awful in that phase of the game. What was the number that we shared? ESPN's FPI had LSU ranked 130th out of 131 teams in special teams efficiency. It's just one metric, but it combines all the different phases of special teams, and you were terrible. So, yes, I would love to see them get better. It would be hard to be worse. But is this really the best way to go about it? We'll see. Maybe it will be. Maybe it will be. But sometimes we like to convince, as fans, we like to convince ourselves, and we like to give our coaches, the players, the teams the benefit of the doubt. And if you remove yourself emotionally and say, well, what if Ole Miss were doing this? You'd probably be laughing at Ole Miss. But Brian Kelly's a great coach. Been around a long time. Dude just won the SEC West. He's won a lot of games over a lot of years. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Let's see if it can work. All right. It's after further review. Glad to have you hanging out with us here on a Hump Day edition of AFR. We're going to do some overrated, underrated here in less than 10 minutes from right now. I'm usually have Tigers and the pros. I do want to get to, at the top of hour number 3, so in about 35 minutes, I'm going to get to my top 5 spring football storylines as LSU's set to hit the Ponderosa tomorrow. So that's coming up. Love telling you about Traction, TractionSports.com, TractionSports.com. You know where to find them online, TractionSports.com, or right there on Burbank, their world-class facility. It's Traction, where champions are made. And listen, I tell you all the time about their sport performance training and their skill training. The performance training, that's bigger, faster, stronger. The skill training, that's exactly what it says. If your son is a baseball player, you want to get expert training with the guys. I mean, I'm over at Traction, and all throughout this summertime period, Daniel Cabrera, Cade Doty, Blaine Enlow, Bobby Bradley. I mean, all these guys that are professional baseball players are training at Traction. The same trainers that are training these professional athletes, Michael Papirski, that are training these guys, are the ones working with your sons and daughters. It's an incredible resource. But also, remember, Traction Physical Therapy as well. If you need physical therapy, you get to choose where you go for PT. Your doctor doesn't choose. You choose where you go for PT. And if you want to get back in the game, whether you just want to get functionally moving again to play golf, or if you're a walker or a runner, maybe you like to jog, maybe you play pickleball, maybe you swim and you've got an injury, you need to get back to an active lifestyle, Traction PT can help you get there as well with Traction Physical Therapy. They have all the latest technologies. You choose where you do PT. If it's dry needling, cupping, they have this Cybex testing, which is like the most foremost technology in the world. It's wild. Go check it out. It's at Traction. Traction Sports Performance, Traction.com, TractionSports.com, where champions are made. I wanted to run through this. This caught my eye. This was over at 247 Sports. If I asked you what are the top 10 football programs of the last 100 years, where would you rank LSU? By the way, this is a perfect summertime radio topic. It just came. No, don't laugh. It just came across today, and I was like, oh, that's really interesting, and it caught my eye because there were a few things that were. All right, Muse, jump in. If I asked you, have you seen this yet? By the way,
no, okay. I haven't actually.
Last 100 years,
man.
Okay, so you got to go back to the 1920s.
Yeah,
okay, so
1923.
The SEC started in 1933. Okay, last 100 years, where would you rank LSU football?
Probably number 7, 6 or 7.
Really? You do realize LSU went through
I'm trying
long
hold
periods of
They
mediocre to bad. I mean, 6
They
straight
did.
losing seasons, late 80s and the 90s.
Yeah.
Really, after the championship in 1958, they were good at the beginning of the 60s, but, I mean, just a very largely average program throughout the 60s, 70s, and 80s.
I got it. I'm trying to think of who.
All right, let's do
who
this.
out of 100 years sustained the most success consistently that you'd absolutely put in front of.
Okay, let's go with who do you think would be in the top 10?
Alabama.
Alabama.
Probably Oklahoma.
Oklahoma, yes.
Probably Nebraska.
Nebraska is interesting to me that they were not in the top 10.
Okay, wow.
That to me was the biggest surprise. But Nebraska was 12th on the list.
So they were just outside.
Just outside of the top 10. Alabama was 2.
Yeah, I'd probably have USC.
USC is 5.
Yeah. Probably Michigan.
Michigan, of course, is 4.
Yeah, as well the wins.
There's 2 super obvious ones that
I still haven't mentioned?
Yeah.
Okay. I figured Alabama would have been the super, super obvious one. You said they were number 2?
Alabama was 2.
You're going to have to help me out here because I'm going to...
Ohio State number 1.
Okay. Yeah.
Notre Dame number 3.
Yeah.
Rockne.
Yeah.
I was surprised Notre Dame wasn't number 1, quite honestly. But
that's a good point.
They've had a quarter century of average, and that sort of maybe has offset some of the other as Ohio State is boosted. So Ohio State 1, Bama 2, Notre Dame 3, Michigan 4, USC 5, Oklahoma 6.
Makes sense.
Texas. But you know what this goes to show you? You can roll your eyes, but it's a metric. It's literally a metric rating your years 0 to 100 over 100 years. And Texas is number 7. What it goes to show you, though, is how great Texas was.
Yeah.
And then we're again under Mac Brown, even though they only got the 1 title. But they had a good decade-long run under Mac Brown as well, despite their struggles in the last 10 years. Looking at a 100-year sample. 8, Tennessee. Again,
longer, yeah.
Robert Nalen in the 40s and 50s General Nalen they were the preeminent program in college football during that era. And then Philip Fulmer, again, won a national championship. But Tennessee was always in the top 5, top 10, right along there. 9, Georgia, which that surprised me.
That's interesting, but okay, yeah.
10, LSU.
Okay, I wasn't off by that much.
Not that much, but the thing that surprised me the most about this is essentially the last 20 years LSU has been so elite for 20 years, it has offset the 50s where you won a national championship, you had a Heisman winner. In the early 60s, well, Jerry Stovall was the Heisman runner-up in 1962 to Terry Baker. I mean, really, you had that window, and then you had the McClendon era where LSU had good seasons. But they were never a national title contender, really. And then prior to Dietzel in the 50s, you didn't have dominant seasons.
Nothing.
So it's so interesting, though, that this 20-year run has essentially it speaks to how dominant, how elite LSU has been over this 20-year run, that it has been able to overcome roughly 60 years of mediocre to bad football. Maybe even 70 years of mediocre to bad football. So, I mean, on one hand, it's like you wonder why LSU had so many decades of average. On the other hand, it's, man, does that not put into perspective just how awesome this era has been since Nick Saban got here? So it was very interesting. If you're wondering about the rest, by the way, Penn State and Nebraska tied at 12. Florida 13. Before Spurrier, they were off.
Yeah.
Auburn 14 surprised me. I thought Auburn would be higher. Texas A&M 15. Despite not winning everyone a championship, I get it. Everyone laughs now, but
it's just funny.
A&M, look, A&M had a lot of great teams. They just never won championships, and they were always overshadowed by Texas. Washington 16. Washington has a national championship. Arkansas 17 surprised me a little bit. Michigan State, Wisconsin, Stanford number 20.
That's a little surprising. I mean, I get it maybe back in it, but I mean,
that's where you don't know about what what was it like 20s, 30s, 40s?
Right,
I
yeah.
Georgia Tech, which won a national championship in 1990. And, of course, you can go back to Bobby Dodd. I mean, there's history. John Heisman was at Georgia Tech. I mean, there's...
Beating folks by 200.
Yes. Wasn't it...
it was like Swanee.
It was Swanee. It was
yeah.
Swanee, yeah. I have a buddy that went to Swanee, by the way. Pitt at 22. Iowa, Clemson 24,
I'm surprised Pitt's not hard. Don't they claim like 7 national titles or something like that?
I don't know. Clemson 24, Purdue 25. That rounds out your top 25.
Huh. Georgia, man, that's
Georgia at 9 surprised me.
That's surprising.
Georgia at 9 surprised me. Anyway, again, beautiful summer talk topic. But I saw it today and was like, that's really interesting. I'm curious what other people think about that. All right, it's after further review. I'm late. We'll break. We'll do a little overrated, underrated. Muse will have Tigers and the Pros in about 15 minutes. Stay here.
AFR.
You know, when I tell you about New Orleans flooring, so many times I emphasize price, right? And that's because they eliminate the middleman. I mean, they keep all their inventory in stock, more than 1 million square foot of flooring in stock. They cut out the middleman. They can give you a 40% discount. It's insane. Shop where the pros shop, buy where the pros buy. It's New Orleans flooring. But they're actually taking it a step further. When you're New Orleans flooring, you really don't ever need to do sales because basically you exist as almost at wholesale prices. But all this month, all throughout the month of March, they're paying your sales tax. So you're getting even deeper discounts on the already extremely best price for the best flooring that you'll find anywhere. It's at New Orleans Flooring. 2 locations. They're in Metairie and then on Airline Highway in Prairieville. You can always shop them online as well at nolaflooring.com. nolaflooring.com. It's New Orleans Flooring. nolaflooring.com.
Louisiana. It's a place defined by culture, by pride, by passion, by people who do more than love this place. They celebrate it, elevate it, champion it. They are the individuals who embody what makes Louisiana great. The companies that make Louisiana a better place to work and live. The nonprofits leading transformational change in our communities. Champions of Louisiana are all around us, and LWCC is proud to celebrate them because we've always been Louisiana loyal, supporting the workers, the innovators, the change agents of this great place we call home. Who are the champions around you? Together, we can share their stories. Together, we can help our home state thrive. Together, we are Louisiana loyal. Always.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $10,000 off new 2022 Ram 1500s. 2022 Ram 1500 trucks on our lot now with $10,000 off MSRP. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
I had to leave my parents. I had to move schools. I don't know anyone here. Everything keeps changing. Why is this happening to me? I'm sure glad you're here.
Change a child's story. There's a child in foster care waiting for a volunteer like you.
Hi, I'm Brandon Landry, founder and CEO of Walker.
Hi, my name is Dr. Craig Green.
This is Ryan Terrio with HUDCORoofing.com.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. No matter how big your commercial roofing job, HUDCO can help.
My patients come to me because they trust that I can get the job done at a high level. Ryan Terrio and Richard Tilley have the same level of trust when it comes to roofing.
If you have a roofing issue, call HUDCO Roofing.
Give us a call, 364-1007, and we'll come to your house and give you a free inspection.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
A busy night, LSU baseball at home against Lamar, basketball team against Georgia, and the Pels are at home tonight against the Dallas Mavericks. You get to see Luka there at the Blender tonight, and that'll be interesting to watch as the Pels are hanging on. They're in the 10 seed right now, so the last team in the play-in right now, playing out the string. We'll see if they can get hot. Some breaking news, and this is major news across the landscape of major college sports, but Jim Boeheim out after 47 seasons at Syracuse. So 1 year after Mike Krzyzewski stepped away from Duke, Jim Boeheim will not be back at Syracuse. This was just hours after Syracuse lost to Wake Forest on a buzzer beater in the ACC tournament. Syracuse announced that Adrian Autry will replace Jim Boeheim. So Boeheim, 47 years at Syracuse. Of course, won the 2003 national championship with Carmelo. That was in the Superdome. One of the great Final Fours. That was Roy Williams' last Kansas team with Kirk Heinrich and Nick Collison. Dwayne Wade on that Marquette team that was in the Final Four that year. Texas was there with T.J. Ford. That was a phenomenal Final Four. I happened to go down to that Final Four in the championship game and everything, and Boeheim and Melo won it. But Mike Bray out at Notre Dame, Jim Boeheim, 47 years out at Syracuse. So a changing of the guard in the ACC after Krzyzewski a year ago, and now, of course, Roy Williams has been gone a few years, but Krzyzewski, now Boeheim and Bray as well. So some of the legends of the game stepping away. All right, it's after further review. Muso, let's do a little overrated, underrated.
Overrated or underrated?
I personally think he's criminally underrated.
Okay, here we go.
Overrated or underrated? Word search.
I'm sorry?
A word search. You know, it's the jumbled letters. You have to highlight the words in it. You find them. You search for them, you find them. You know what a word search is. You've absolutely seen a word search.
Like with the big box, and you had to go diagonal up or down.
Up, backwards.
Yeah, underrated. Anything that we don't use our minds enough, especially with so much technology. Think about it. We don't have to tell time. I was thinking about this traveling this past weekend, going, west. You don't even have to worry about changing your watch or thinking about time zones. You just step off and it automatically calibrates. Anything that forces us to stimulate our mind, I'm for it. We don't do it enough. Underrated.
Overrated or underrated? The World Baseball Classic.
I think it's properly rated. People who really are deeply nerdy and care. If you're a country who's really good at the World Baseball Classic and you're not good at anything else, you care. People who have other things to do in their lives don't care. I host a sports show. I don't care. So do you care?
I'm actually not a big World Baseball Classic guy.
Baseball guy doesn't care. Paulie, do you care about the World Baseball Classic?
I do not.
Yeah, it's properly rated. It's just what it is.
Overrated or underrated? Little Rock, Arkansas.
Okay. Does anybody think Little Rock, Arkansas is a nice place? Anybody in the world?
I don't know. I mean, I've been a couple different times. It's not been my least favorite place ever.
Okay, then Little Rock, Arkansas is overrated. It's a hole. The state of Arkansas is horrendous. Northwest Arkansas is beautiful in the mountains.
Northwest is pretty nice.
Central Arkansas, Little Rock, is a pile of poo. There's no interstate to get there. There's no interstate access, right? It's right in the center of the state. It's the people there are awful. There's nothing to do. The weather sucks. War Memorial Stadium is garbage. They make you park on a golf course. There's no lights anywhere. It's if anybody thinks Little Rock is good, then by definition, Little Rock is overrated.
Overrated or underrated? Bat flips.
Underrated. I think the fact that I'm okay with celebrating. Celebrating doesn't bother me. If you want to throw your bat 30 feet in the air, that's fine. Just don't hit anybody. It's always my thing with a bat flip. And then when guys like sling the bat down, you can hit somebody in the on-deck circle. That's my only worry with it. But the act of celebrating a home run, I have no problem with celebrating a home run. So underrated. If anyone thinks back flipping is overrated, then you're wrong. So it's underrated.
That's overrated, underrated.
This is After Further Review, brought to you by Pluckers. We will be at... Oh, I got to do Pluckers read next, so let me not do that right now. Let's just go to break. We'll come back. We'll do Tigers and the Pros. Stay here.
AFR.
This is going to shock you, but we're presented by Pluckers. Nicholson and Bluebonnet. Dine-in, carry-out, or delivery. So, big night tonight. Big night tonight. Tiger baseball right there at the box. You're going to the game, grab a bite to eat at Pluckers before or after the game. Or maybe what you want to do is just go set up shop at Pluckers today. Because my goodness, is there a lot going on. LSU baseball, 6:30. Pelicans, 6:30. LSU basketball, 8 o'clock. Pluckers trivia, 7:30 Bluebonnet, 8 o'clock Nicholson. My goodness, what better night could there possibly be to go by Pluckers? I don't know, maybe next Thursday. Because our entire lineup of shows will be there next Thursday for the opening day of March Madness. OTB, the Hunt Palmer Show, AFR. We're all live at Pluckers on Bluebonnet next Thursday for the start of March Madness. It's at Pluckers. Nicholson, Bluebonnet, dine-in, carry-out, or delivery. Remember, Pluckers, if you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust poll of the day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, anytime. Hunt Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the poll of the day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary. For those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Louisiana. It's a place defined by culture, by pride, by passion, by people who do more than love this place. They celebrate it, elevate it, champion it. They are the individuals who embody what makes Louisiana great. The companies that make Louisiana a better place to work and live. The nonprofits leading transformational change in our communities. Champions of Louisiana are all around us, and LWCC is proud to celebrate them because we've always been Louisiana loyal, supporting the workers, the innovators, the change agents of this great place we call home. Who are the champions around you? Together, we can share their stories. Together, we can help our home state thrive. Together, we are Louisiana loyal. Always.
I had to leave my parents. I had to move schools. I don't know anyone here. Everything keeps changing. Why is this happening to me? I'm sure glad you're here.
Change a child's story. There's a child in foster care waiting for a volunteer like you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Pluckers Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Pluckers Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
All right, we got some breaking news here. A little update on Zion. And I asked Muse, is the update that they're shutting him down? And no, that's not the update. The update is also not that he's coming back. The update is that there's not really an update. The update on Zion Williamson officially from the Pelicans here is that Zion, I'll read it to you. It's 2 lines. New Orleans Pelicans announced today forward Zion Williamson was recently reevaluated for his right hamstring strain. Medical imaging revealed Williamson's hamstring continues to heal. His next examination will take place in approximately 2 weeks. Why don't they just shut him down? He's not playing again. I get it. All right. Just shut him down. 2 weeks. You want to look at the schedule? What's 2 weeks going to look like from now? Let's see. Let's do it. Let's do the math here. I'm so bad at math, but let's do it anyway. I'll do live math. Math live on the air so I can look like an idiot. Like I didn't look like an idiot. What am I? Shut up. All right. Today's Wednesday, the 8th. So the 15th and then the 22nd. So he'll be reevaluated around the time the Pels play San Antonio or Charlotte. So Dallas, OKC, Portland, the Lakers, at Houston, home against San Antonio. So basically the next 7 or 8 games. He'll miss 7 or 8 more games. And conceivably, even if he's reevaluated then. Like, does he come back then? Or is that just when they started the ramp-up process? Even if he comes back then, let's say he returns to action on the 23rd against Charlotte, or after that game. They're at the Clippers, at Portland, at Golden State, at Denver. Yeah, welcome back for that stretch. Home against the Clippers, home against the Kings, home against Memphis, home against the Knicks, and then at Minnesota. Basically, he could return for the final 9 games. Maybe it matters. Probably doesn't. Whatever. Blah. Blah. All right. Do the thing. Just do it. Just do the thing. Do that. Blah.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now. Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, where Baton Rouge gets engaged.
Earlier this week, Alex Bregman made his spring training debut at the Astros, wore the collar for 3. Last night, much better. 3 for 3 for Bregman. All 3 of them, actually he had 2 doubles and then a single in the game, now up to 375. But did you see this? Bregman's kind of come up with a new way to turn a double play. If you're watching, you'll see it. Instead of trying to make a soft throw to second, ranging to his left, he's bouncing the ball off the dirt to the second baseman to start the double play turn. Codify Baseball posted this, and Bregman responded underneath the tweet saying, yeah, I've actually been practicing this since I saw Anthony Rendon do it in Anaheim, because it's easier. It's more accurate than trying to make a soft throw. Thoughts?
He's Bregman. He can do whatever he wants.
Okay. I just think it's kind of interesting.
I mean, I couldn't do that accurately.
No. And the fact that he says it's more accurate. Quite interesting. So good luck to Bregman.
I'd be less concerned about the accuracy and more concerned with the time it takes. Like, does it take you longer to get the ball to second to turn the double play? So bang, bang, play.
Got to know your runner.
Do you not turn it because of taking the extra time to bounce the ball as opposed to just throw it? Shortest distance between 2 points?
Straight line. Yeah, for sure. For sure. A lot of former Tigers in the Cubs-Rangers game yesterday. We'll start with Josh Smith.
I'm just not. Like, the Zion thing really just kind of put me in a mood.
Now he's being so negative about the Pels.
Well, that was before New Zion was coming back from another 2 weeks.
Knew. Quit it.
Oh,
We've all known.
Could have always come back.
Josh Smith drew 2 walks in the game yesterday. Solid day. Jake Slaughter for the Cubs, 1 for 3 at the top of the order, along with a run scored. And then Cam Sanders got his first save of the spring, 2 shutout innings, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. Cam Sanders has been up to 99 on the reg in spring training. It's been fantastic to see. I've just really enjoyed also following Tari Eason's rookie season in the NBA. Tari last night, another really solid night, 8-4-3 for the Rockets. They got destroyed, but they always get destroyed. 28 minutes as well. He's seen the minute count go up. The Rockets are going to be really good eventually with all the young talent. And then this weekend on the PGA Tour, the Players' Championship, Ponte Vedra Beach, TPC Sawgrass, Island Hole, all those great things. Sam Burns is in the field. He will tee off tomorrow at 12:07 Central Standard Time. That is Tigers in the Pros.
Whatever. Do you want to tell people about Lee Michaels?
Hey, you should absolutely go to Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. It's the best jewelry place ever. You can get that gift, Matt, for the special someone, the gift in the little red box, right? All the time. It's always available at Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry.
And you always get the Lee Michaels experience. You know, maybe a nice piece of jewelry would cheer me up. A beautiful diamond from Lee Michaels.
Like a championship ring?
What if I put diamonds in my G Nikes? That would cheer me up.
Oh, that'd be pretty good, actually.
Diamond-studded G Nikes. That's what I need.
Just in the swoosh.
Hour 3, next.
AFR.
We're brought to you by Relief Windows, reliefwindows.com. Energy-efficient replacement windows, beautiful entry doors, hardy plank vinyl siding. They do it all at Relief Windows. Hey, we are moving towards spring, and you're seeing the temperatures climb, 85 degrees today. So you know it's coming, right? The triple-digit temps, the high humidity, when you have your AC running around the clock. Well, if you want to keep your energy bills lower, installing energy-efficient windows is a great way to do that. So these windows from Relief Windows are made custom for your home. So they measure twice and install once. So there's no gaps, no costly air leaks, letting the cool air get out and the warm air in, making your home less efficient. Install these energy-efficient replacement windows. They'll pay for themselves. It'll lower your energy bills, increase your home's resale value because all of their windows come with a lifetime transferable warranty on labor, material, and glass breakage. It's Relief Windows. Check them out online at reliefwindows.com.
I'm Chris Nakamoto, and here's what I'm working on for my stories on WBRZ Channel 2 tonight. A prosecutor from Lafayette accused of felony hit and run, negligent injuring, and careless operation from a hit and run boating crash 2 years ago is still awaiting trial on those charges. The investigative unit learning from sources he's being considered for an appointed judge position now. Tonight, the investigative unit looks into the delay for Chris Richard. I'm Chris Nakamoto from WBRZ. Watch more tonight on WBRZ Channel 2.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Hi, I'm Brandon Landry, founder and CEO of Walker.
Hi, my name is Dr. Craig Green.
This is Ryan Terrio with HUDCORoofing.com.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. No matter how big your commercial roofing job, HUDCO can help.
My patients come to me because they trust that I can get the job done at a high level. Ryan Terrio and Richard Tilley have the same level of trust when it comes to roofing.
If you have a roofing issue, call HUDCO Roofing.
Give us a call, 364-1007, and we'll come to your house and give you a free inspection.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Breaking news: after 47 seasons, the Jim Boeheim era at Syracuse is over. The university announced the Hall of Fame coach will not return as its men's basketball coach. Associate head coach Adrian Autry takes over. Giants GM Joe Shane says they've started negotiations with running back Saquon Barkley, who received the franchise tag yesterday. A long-term deal with Barkley would provide New York with more money to supplement the rest of the roster, and part of that money should be used to get help on the outside for quarterback Daniel Jones, advises ESPN's Ryan Clark.
They're going to need someone that can be explosive down the field, someone to win 50-50 balls, and when it's time to make plays in the crunch, you have someone that can step up and be reliable for Daniel Jones to throw the football to. So if they want to win, and if they want to win big, compete for championships, this passing game has to take the next step.
Police in Glendale, Colorado have closed their investigation into a video that appeared to show Memphis Grizzlies star Ja Morant showing off a gun inside a nightclub last Friday. Said there wasn't enough evidence available to charge anyone with a crime. The NBA still is investigating that incident independently.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. At Progressive, they're making things even easier to help you bundle your home and car insurance together so you can save on both. Learn more at Progressive.com or 1-800-PROGRESSIVE.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
You so. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you're driving home with us. Oh, by the way, it's a hump day.
It's hump day.
LSU baseball against Lamar.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
LSU basketball against Georgia.
Hump day.
Hells against the Mavs.
It's hump day.
Whoa.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Zion. Out 2 more weeks.
Hump day.
Whoa.
It's hump day.
Jim Boeheim. Out forever.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
LSU football practice tomorrow.
Hump day.
Thanks to Wilson Alexander being here last hour.
It's hump day.
Thanks to Taylor Calandro for joining us to talk about booze.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
We got some Pluckers trivia in about 30 minutes.
It's hump day.
Who's got the best theme?
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
CBS college football.
Hump day.
March Madness.
It's hump day.
Round ball rock.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
U.S. NBC golf thing? NBC golf. NBC golf.
Hump day.
NBC golf?
You're talking about for the U.S. Open. Is what you're talking about.
NBC, right? NBC golf.
Yeah, but yeah.
They don't just use it for the U.S. Open. It's when NBC has golf.
Yeah, NBC golf. Yeah. Well, they are two different, but yeah.
Huh?
The U.S. Open theme is different from NBC golf.
Turn that down. Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, the U.S. Open theme.
Wait, I want to hear the difference then.
Okay, well, I got to find them, and I don't have those pulled up.
You know, like that's whenever you cried about the Big Ten on CBS football theme song.
It's awful.
Yeah.
All of it's awful.
No. It's the same song.
No, it doesn't matter.
By the way, it's the same theme they use for Army Navy.
That's America's game, though, Matt. That's different. That's America's game
for the Sun Bowl. Is that America's game? Yeah.
I mean, the Sun Bowl. It's first of all the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl. It's one of just those sicko bowls, so you'll allow it. Like you just no one likes the Big Ten.
Got him. Oh, Muse, just all up in his feelings. Like Drake. What?
I'm just care to elaborate how I'm like Drake.
All up in my feelings.
Okay.
My feelings. Drake, in my feelings. You know the song,
yeah,
right?
I know the
do
song.
I have to explain
yes.
the song to you? You're 20 years younger than me. Do you not understand the song? The reference?
I got you. I'm just saying.
Kiki.
There we go. That's kind of what I wanted. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you wanted. You know I'll never let you down there. All right. Give me a poll question update, Muse, if you would. A lot going on tonight, but hard to know where people's attention may fall.
Yeah, so that was the Citizens Bank poll question today. Which local game interests you the most tonight? LSU baseball versus Lamar, LSU basketball versus Georgia, or Pels Mavs?
I'm going to say people say baseball.
Yeah, overwhelmingly, 82%.
People default to a winner. That's why. If the Pels had not completely thrown up on themselves the last 6 weeks, I think the Pels would probably be leading that. And I think collectively have just lost interest in LSU men's basketball weeks ago. It's just very hard to justify talking about it much at all. What will become interesting is after they lose, which could be tonight, is talking about how Matt McMahon now looks forward to rebuilding that roster. I mean, a midweek game against Lamar, people just want to see a winner. And it's ultimately what it comes to.
Midweek games are important, though, too, Matt. I mean, they matter. You got to win.
Absolutely, they do. Tennessee losing last night to Boston College. Their season's done. Over.
I don't know how they recover.
Throw dirt on them. Put a fork in them.
Finish.
Stick a fork in them.
Got to win those.
Yeah. Put them out of their misery. Dunzo. LSU football is going to hit the practice field Thursday morning, so I have my list of the top 5 spring storylines I'm watching for the LSU football team as they hit the practice field. Muse, hit me with a little college football music there, if you would. I love the Big Ten on CBS theme. It's so good.
That's not what this is.
This is the Big Ten on CBS theme.
Stop it.
I do love it.
That's just...
We are an ESPN affiliate, yet I prefer the Big Ten on CBS theme song.
He's going to be watching it every week. He can't wait.
You're going to be watching what?
The Big Ten on CBS.
Oh, if it's a great game, I'm sure it will be.
I love it. Be on there 2:30 sharp.
Well,
beats the 11 o'clock Big Ten kickoff, but anyway.
Well, they'll still have 11 o'clock.
I know,
kickoffs.
but
I mean,
not
the Big Ten,
biggest game.
The 2:30 Big Ten game right now is either on Fox or on ABC.
Right, but they always put the Penn State, Ohio State at like 11 a.m.
The big noon kickoff.
Yeah, it's stupid.
They may still have big noon kickoff. They may. I don't care what the Big Ten does. All right, here we go. Muse.
5.
Top 5 spring storylines.
5.
What is that? What is that?
That's Patrick from SpongeBob.
I never watched SpongeBob. That's why I didn't know it. Okay. All right. I'm watching the defensive line. Mainly because of the absences. Jaquelin Roy, of course, we know, went off to the NFL draft. Mason Smith is going to be a non-contact participant. We're all excited to see Mason Smith back on the field, but no contact. Deshaun Womack, 5-star edge, also a non-contact participant. Mekhi Wingo out after having shoulder surgery. Jordan Jefferson, the West Virginia defensive line transfer, also out. So this opens up a massive opportunity for guys like Jacobian Guillory and Jalen Lee and some of the younger guys who are coming in as well. You know, whenever they line it up to start the season, Mason Smith's going to be on the interior. Mekhi Wingo's a returning All-American. There's not a question there about who's going to start. The question is, how many of these guys can earn a spot in a rotation, and how deep can your rotation go? We'll figure that out in spring.
Number 4.
Who is that?
Just some random children's video. I don't know.
You watch random children's videos?
I did today on YouTube trying to put this segment together.
Weirdo. The center spot. We were talking center last year in spring, remember? It was a huge deal. They cross-trained 5 different players at center last year in spring, and they went into the opener with Garrett Dellinger as the starting center. Now, ultimately, Charles Turner won that job, but Charles Turner, late in the season, was sharing reps with Marlon Martinez, who played very well. Charles Turner out for spring drills means doors wide open for Marlon Martinez to take all of the first-team reps at center this spring. Can Marlon Martinez steal that job away from Charles Turner? He's going to have an opportunity taking all of the first-team reps this spring at center.
3. Pick number 3, my lord.
Was it? Did he say number 3, my lord? Was that?
Yeah.
Was it English?
It's Shrek.
Shrek.
Yeah. When he's trying to pick the girl to go after. Number 3. Pick number 3, my lord. Classic.
Paul, put the camera on him, please. Or do that again.
3. Pick number 3, my lord.
Really good.
Such a good movie.
It is such a good movie. Cornerback rotation. Jark Bernard Converse. He gone. Mekhi Garner. He gone. Cody Dickerson. Gone. They brought in a whole bunch of new guys. Radarius Jones. Gone. Demarius McGee. Gone. They're all gone. The only guy back is LaTerrence Welch. So you got a whole bunch of new dudes there. I want to see Denver Harris. I want to see J.K. Johnson, the Ohio State transfer. I want to see Zy Alexander, the Southeastern transfer. I want to see the young bucks coming in. Is Toviano going to be a corner or safety? Don't know. We'll see how that all plays out this summer or this spring. Remember, Deuce Chestnut, all ACC from Syracuse, injured, will not participate. Does he lose a ton of ground not being out there in spring? Watching those cornerbacks is a massive, massive thing for spring football.
2 was Michael Scott.
Quarterback reps. Been talking about it. Have to talk about it here. Yes, Brian Kelly is saying Jaden Daniels, he's earned the right, unquestioned starter. He's the guy. But if you are divvying up first-team reps, you are leaving open the possibility of the second-team guy taking game reps or winning the job. Are you not? Actions speak louder than words. Do you think Joe Burrow was splitting reps in 2019, first-team reps with Miles Brennan? Because I don't. Do you think Caleb Williams is going to be splitting first-team reps at USC this spring? Because I don't. You got a starter. Your starter takes the starting reps. So how do they divvy up those reps? Is Brian Kelly just trying to appease Garrett Nussmeier so he'll leave? I'm not starting the controversy, but if you're telling me you're going to give the backup quarterback first-team reps, it's a conversation that has to be had. 1. Was that the count?
That was the count.
Of all those, the one I got was the count from Sesame Street, because of course I did.
There you go.
A lot of Sesame Street in my house, Muse. Scone household, a lot of Wheel of Fortune and Sesame Street.
It's the number of the day.
Polar opposites. You got the count, you got Sesame Street for kids, and, Wheel of Fortune, which is basically for old people, and my 9-year-old son who watches Wheel of Fortune all the time.
Great show.
I think that's how he's learned all the letters. I'm serious.
Hey.
I think Drew has learned the alphabet not because of Sesame Street, because of Wheel of Fortune. I'm sorry, that is not correct. Drew will just repeat Pat Sajak all the time. Yeah, that's it. He just does Wheel of Fortune puzzles all day. The number one spring storyline to watch this spring is the same number one storyline to watch last spring and the one before that, before that, before that. And it'll be the number one storyline to watch next spring and the one after that and after that and after that. Injuries. Stay healthy. Do not get hurt. Do not get anybody injured. Remember Grant Delpit breaking his collarbone in the spring game back in 2018? Obviously went on 20. He had an All-America season. He was awesome. But look, I need nobody getting hurt. All right? If you're a star, you're a starter, relax. It's just spring. We talking about practice. Not a game. Not a game. I'm supposed to be a franchise player. We're here talking about practice? Get through spring healthy. The number one storyline to watch, as it is every year. All right, LSU on the practice field Thursday morning. Getting spring, year 2, Brian Kelly spring kicked off. All right, it's after further review. We're glad you're with us here. Let me knock out a quick break. We'll come back. LSU and Lamar. We got a lineup yet, Muse? Is it posted? Have you seen it? All right, we'll check to see if we do have a starting lineup yet. We do. Good. Lineup is posted. We'll run through that. LSU-Lamar tonight at the box. We're about an hour and 15 minutes away from first pitch. We'll run through the starting lineup next on AFR.
AFR.
Speaking of LSU baseball, a Friday. Take me out to Tallulah inside of the Renaissance Hotel there on Bluebonnet. Tell you every day about the Watermark downtown and the Renaissance in Southtown, right there on Bluebonnet across the Mall of Louisiana. Baton Rouge's 2 premier hotels, the Watermark and the Renaissance, and both properties great for a stay, an overnight stay in Baton Rouge, great for a one-night, weekend, whatever, getaway. Also, 2 amazing restaurants in the properties, the Gregory at the Watermark and Tallulah inside of the Renaissance. I want to introduce you to Tallulah on Friday. So, LSU baseball, game watch party, I'll be there. As soon as AFR ends, I'm heading over to the Renaissance, inviting you to come join me. It's totally free. They're going to have drink specials. They're going to have food specials. There will be free beer samples from Rally Cap, free whiskey samples from Calandro's, indoor, outdoor. Going to be a great night. Come join us. Take me out to Tallulah Friday at the Renaissance.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Louisiana. It's a place defined by culture, by pride, by passion, by people who do more than love this place. They celebrate it, elevate it, champion it. They are the individuals who embody what makes Louisiana great. The companies that make Louisiana a better place to work and live. The nonprofits leading transformational change in our communities. Champions of Louisiana are all around us, and LWCC is proud to celebrate them because we've always been Louisiana loyal, supporting the workers, the innovators, the change agents of this great place we call home. Who are the champions around you? Together, we can share their stories. Together, we can help our home state thrive. Together, we are Louisiana loyal. Always.
I had to leave my parents. I had to move schools. I don't know anyone here. Everything keeps changing. Why is this happening to me? I'm sure glad you're here.
Change a child's story. There's a child in foster care waiting for a volunteer like you.
Hi, I'm Brandon Landry, founder and CEO of Walker.
Hi, my name is Dr. Craig Green.
This is Ryan Terrio with HUDCORoofing.com.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. No matter how big your commercial roofing job, HUDCO can help.
My patients come to me because they trust that I can get the job done at a high level. Ryan Terrio and Richard Tilley have the same level of trust when it comes to roofing.
If you have a roofing issue, call HUDCO Roofing.
Give us a call, 364-1007, and we'll come to your house and give you a free inspection.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
All right, lineup is posted. LSU against Lamar tonight out at the box. Muse, you going out there?
No, I'm going to do scone and tea.
Oh, that's right.
Every Wednesday.
That's right. Scone and tea. T-Bob and I will be at Oliver Twist. Y'all come hang out with us there. We'll have the game on over there, I would assume.
Oh, yeah, I'm bringing my own laptop after this time, too.
We'll stream it.
We'll
stream it over there.
Yeah. I'll be watching the game.
Yeah.
Just won't be there tonight.
That's okay. Well, we're glad to have you, Muse.
Good. Thank you. Glad to be there.
Thanks for doing your job.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Attaboy for doing your job.
Thank you. It's nice to hear that every now and then.
Yeah, I know. Okay, so LSU against Lamar, 6:30. Mentioned it earlier. Christian Little is going to start for LSU. Muse, I know you've seen Christian Little a bunch. What do you like the most about Christian Little?
Yeah, man, I like the assortment of pitches a lot.
Vaughn's been in trouble a couple of times, but has held the White Sox with his new assortment of breaking stuff.
What are some of the names of those pitches, Muse, that you like from Christian Little?
Humiliator, line to left, a base hit. Eliminator, line to right, another base hit. There's some real pus line to center.
What does he say? Where's 99, too?
He does. I mean, it's perfect. Is Christian Little Rick Vaughn?
Oh, man. No, he's not.
No, he's not the Wild.
But I do like him better as a closer than as a starter.
I mean,
there is that. Would you agree?
Yes.
On this team especially?
Yes, on this team for sure, yes.
I mean, whose spot? I will be interested to see Christian Little extend. He was a weekend guy at Vanderbilt, lost his spot. They kind of bumped him back to the midweek. And that's a big part of the reason why he's here. But, man, when you look at Paul Skeens, you look at Thatcher Hurd, the job he's doing so far, and Chase Shores has earned the opportunity to be in the rotation. We'll see if that pans out throughout the course of the season. But I am going to be interested to see Christian Little extend tonight. But, man, the idea of being able to use Little multiple times in a weekend as a guy coming out of the back of the bullpen and just saying, hey, go throw 99. Just go pour gas on him in the ninth inning. I love that. So, but we'll see how long they let Little extend. My assumption here, and I could be dead wrong, I'm just thinking about what they've done with Chase Shores, which is not to overwork him, let him get through the lineup once before this weekend. Excuse me, that's how they were using Chase Shores. That would make sense. Kind of let him go out there, get the ball to start, see how he does, going through the preparation to start. And it's an option if you need it at some point because we have seen Little fill that role. But his first opportunity to start for LSU tonight against Lamar. Here was Jay Johnson, by the way, on Will Davis, former LSU Tiger, and his Lamar squad coming into the box.
A lot of respect. I think Will, obviously having ties to here, he does a great job, and I've gotten to know him a little bit better since I've become the coach here, and I think he has the right idea for putting that program in the best place for it to be successful. They're really old. He uses the pitching really well. I think they pulled their Friday starter after 2 innings on Friday, so I'm assuming that's what we're going to see on Wednesday, and they'll use the bullpen and best bullets. They beat Texas A&M 2 weeks ago. So this will be a great challenge. And all of these things that we're doing are challenging, going on the road, playing in that tournament, playing at Texas, 4 games in 4 days. I think all our guys are doing a good job of taking it in stride, and this is kind of the next one.
So with LSU likely seeing the frontline guy from Lamar, how does LSU line it up? Here you go. Only one notable change here. Ben DePolt's going to go back to third base, but everything else looks the same. Here's how they'll line it up. Gavin Dugas will lead off and play second. Trey Morgan stays out in left field. He'll bat second. Dylan Cruz in the 3-hole playing center. Tommy White will DH and bat fourth. Cade Beloso stays at first base batting fifth, and he's swinging a hot bat. He deserves to be in the lineup. Jordan Thompson will bat sixth and play short. Brady Neal behind the plate will bat seventh. Paxton Kling in right field will bat eighth. And Ben DePolt, as we mentioned, will play third base and bat ninth. After we had seen Joe Bear at third base, a little bit of a rotation there, how they figure it out. But this is I like this lineup a lot. I'm going to continue to say I think my favorite lineup is going to be when Tommy White can go back to third base, even if it's Trey Morgan back to first and you get another outfielder out there. If it's Joe Bear back in the outfield along with along with Kling, and then you're DHing either Jones or Joe Bear. I think this lineup is serviceable. It's a Beloso obviously is more than capable of playing first base, and Morgan is proven to be a very good left fielder. And Ben Napolt's a better option at third base, as we know. But I would love to see Napolt swing the bat a little bit better. I think we could all agree on that. But that's not a long-term fix there. Gavin Dugas has solidified second base, and when Tommy Wright's ready, he's going to go back and play third. So LSU will play Lamar tonight, 5 games in 6 days. So only a few more opportunities. You got tonight and then the weekend series before LSU is going to, against Samford, before LSU, a midweek game next week before LSU opens up conference play in College Station next week. All right, it is after further review. I got a text from the Otter. I bet this is an early pick. Okay, here we go. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Sorry.
Okay, there it is. All right, 5:30 tip. Ohio State. So this is starting in 5 minutes. So here's your Otter locks. How did he do last night, Muse? I know you said he got
Gonzaga. He hit that Gonzaga play.
Right, hang on, let me
rocking chair.
I want to check real quick. By the way, so no Otter tonight. It's Handy locks, correct?
Supposed to be. Yep.
All right, we'll see if Handy likes anything. But Ott's in Vegas, but he did send me his plays. Let me check how he did last night. All right, settled. Boom. All right, let me run through this in a second. We're brought to you by Mold Zero USA. I'll go through Ott's picks, and I'll give you the other picks in a second. But the 5:30 play is Ohio State. Mold Zero USA, mold-0usa.com. That's mold-0usa.com. Kill mold, remove odor. This is a patented non-toxic dry fog treatment. I've told you about it before. Look, mold is part of our reality in South Louisiana. It's humid and it's wet. It's conditions for mold. Don't let mold be a disruptor for your life, for your family, for your office, whatever it may be. Call Jim Woodworth and the gang over at Mold Zero. This process is so easy. It's affordable. They come in, they spray their dry fog, they let it dwell. As soon as the fog dissipates, you go back into your home, your office, mold-free, clean-smelling, killing dozens of other pathogens as well. You can go to the website, read the full U.S. Army Corps of Engineers report. There's instructional videos or explanatory videos as well. Check it out at mold-0usa.com. They service all of Greater Baton Rouge, all of Greater New Orleans. Go to the website. You'll see the 225 and the 504 phone numbers, mold-0usa.com, mold-0usa.com. Okay, here was Otter last night. All right. Oof. Okay, so Otter gave us Merrimack minus the 3.5. That did not hit. He gave us Gonzaga minus the 2.5. That did hit. And he gave us Virginia Tech minus 6.5. That did not hit. So a 1-2 night, another losing night for the Otter. Let's see if we can get back on track. So here's the Otters' plays tonight. We'll see if we've got handy locks coming up shortly. But Ohio State, which starts again in 3 minutes from right now. So if you want to get in on the Big Ten tourney, Ohio State. He's also got West Virginia in the Big 12 tournament and Utah in the Pac-12 tournament. So Ohio State, West Virginia, Utah, those are the Otters' plays tonight. If you want to get in on the Ohio State play, that tips again in 3 minutes from right now. So you can do it. We always encourage you to download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and be sure to use the promo code Baton Rouge. Ohio State laying 2 against Wisconsin. Let's get on track, Otter. Let's get on track. Okay, it is after further review. We're glad you're hanging out with us here on a Hump Day edition of AFR. As Muse mentioned, T-Bob and I will be over at Oliver Twist for Scone and Tea. So we'll be live at 7 o'clock. You can watch on the Watch 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel. We'll do a full spring football preview for LSU. We'll talk, no doubt, some Derek Carr as well, me and T-Bob. And, of course, there's always Pluckers Trivia tonight as well. 7:30 Blue Bonnet, 8 o'clock on Nicholson. So if you need a place to get by and watch LSU basketball, Pels basketball, LSU baseball, play trivia, Pluckers is a great spot to do that. Lots going on. Love this time of year, and glad to have you hanging out with us. Okay, let me knock out a break. We'll come back. We'll do some Pluckers trivia, as we always do here on Wednesdays. We'll get to handy locks, what we learned, a lot still to get to. Glad you're here. Stick around. It's AFR.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. 752-0001, 752-0001, or 1hourbr.com. You can check them out online. Remember, as we continue to tell you, high of 85 today. So the warmer temps are coming. Spring is here. Summer's not far behind. Call River City's 1 Hour Air for your preseason AC tune-up. Do this before the triple-digit temps come. Make sure your Home Central AC is tuned up, ready to run efficiently for for the coming warm weather. And when you do, you know you're going to get a great technician to come to the house like Cole. This is a 5-star review from Johnny Castell, who said, Cole was very knowledgeable, answered all of my questions. He provided all the information I needed to make the best decisions regarding our unit. Another 5-star review for River City's 1 Hour Air. 752-0001, 752-0001. Look for the big yellow vans and trucks with the giant clocks on the side and ask for the Moscona Special. At River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Louisiana. It's a place defined by culture, by pride, by passion, by people who do more than love this place. They celebrate it, elevate it, champion it. They are the individuals who embody what makes Louisiana great. The companies that make Louisiana a better place to work and live. The nonprofits leading transformational change in our communities. Champions of Louisiana are all around us, and LWCC is proud to celebrate them because we've always been Louisiana loyal, supporting the workers, the innovators, the change agents of this great place we call home. Who are the champions around you? Together, we can share their stories. Together, we can help our home state thrive. Together, we are Louisiana loyal. Always.
I had to leave my parents. I had to move schools. I don't know anyone here. Everything keeps changing. Why is this happening to me?
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Flucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Flucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
All right, rolling along, get some Hanny locks in for the Otter in about 15 minutes from right now. Appreciate Jimmy for sending the picks. Again, they've got Ohio State tipping off right now in the Big Ten tournament, West Virginia and Utah. Those are the Otters' plays tonight. We'll see what Handy's got for us coming up shortly. Okay, Muse, how you feeling?
I'm fine. Why?
It was time to do trivia.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't know. That's not normally how you intro that.
I was just asking how you're feeling.
Okay. I'm good, man. I mean, it's gonna go, about as poorly as it probably does every week, and
I don't know.
We're gonna move on, and it's gonna be great.
I don't know, Muse.
No, every time.
I don't know, Muse. I think you're gonna nail this tonight.
I don't, but okay.
Paulie, how do you think Muse is gonna do tonight?
Not so hot.
Thanks, Paul.
Wow. If I say you're gonna do good, it's like the dreaded vote of confidence for a coach that is destined to fail. All right, so every Wednesday, it's trivia night over at Pluckers, 2 locations, Nicholson and Bluebonnet. Bluebonnet location, 7:30. Nicholson location, 8 o'clock. Live action trivia. Every team gets to spin the prize wheel, so even if you don't win a round, you still get to win something. Food from Pluckers, gift cards to great businesses all over town. So, here we go. My guy, Stevie Levy, the king of the wing, always gives me a little appetizer, as it were, for the questions for that night, and we quiz Muse. All right, Muse.
We got a theme or no?
No theme.
Okay.
General trivia here. Okay. First one is a sports one, though.
Oh, all right.
I think you're going to nail it.
Oh, God. No pressure.
Le Tour de France. 21 stages. Takes place over how many days?
Oh, God.
The Tour de France, 21 stages, takes place over how many days?
Is it 21?
No.
I don't watch the Tour de France. The only thing I can tell you about the Tour de France, Lance Armstrong. That's it. That's all I got for you.
You ever watch SportsCenter?
Yeah, but not that part.
Where'd you see Lance Armstrong?
Dodgeball. True underdog story.
Where'd you see him on a bike?
Nowhere. He just tells you in that movie. One time I thought about quitting, Peter.
So you never...
But then I won the Tour de France 8 years in a row.
You never ever... He didn't win it 8 years. You never ever watched SportsCenter and saw Tour de France highlights? Ever?
I mean, I have, but not to pay attention enough to tell you what happens.
Okay.
I'm sure you have a pretty good reason for quitting, though, Peter.
It's 23.
I was close.
Yeah. But that's not the answer. All right, 23. All right, Muse. You're off to a terrible start as usual.
I tried to tell you.
Yeah. Look, I have more faith in you than you have in yourself.
Hey, and look, it's appreciated.
Don't fault me for having faith in you.
It's important to lift others up.
That's what good friends do.
Yeah, it's important.
They lift up others. I'm an uplifting type person, Muse. That's what I do. I try to encourage, to bring the best out of you here.
How's that going for you in the trivia segment?
I believe in you more than you believe in you, and that's a shame. All right, Muse. What network did the original Jeopardy series premiere on in the 1960s?
I'm so bad at the networks. I mean, it's currently on CBS. I don't think it's moved. I'll say CBS.
Muse.
It's ABC, wasn't it?
No.
So it was.
No. Give yourself another buzzer. And if you say Fox, I'm going to come punch you. I'm going to punch you right in the nose.
It was NBC, wasn't it?
It was NBC.
Nah.
Yes, it was on NBC in the 1960s.
Okay.
Muse.
I'm so bad at the network questions, man.
It's unbelievable because you got
it's a 1 out of 3 choice.
You got a 33.3 repeating percent chance, and you literally picked the other two before you picked.
Yeah.
You're dead last.
I wasn't alive then, you know.
Hey, Muse.
Yeah.
Who was the home run leader before Hank Aaron?
Roger Connor.
No, before Hank Aaron.
Oh, before Hank Aaron. Babe Ruth.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You weren't alive then, but you knew that.
Yeah.
All right. Last one here, Muse. What is the science of drawing maps called?
What?
What is the science of drawing maps?
That's a thing? Mapology? I don't know. I'm a mapologist.
No.
Travelology?
All of your teachers over at St. Michael the Archangel are just devastated.
Oh, yeah, because that's what we were learning.
You probably... Well, clearly you didn't learn it. Terrible.
What's the answer to that one? Now I'm curious.
It's cartography.
Okay.
Muse. 0 for 3, I'll tell you. Not doing old St. Michael the Archangel.
I got my what I learned. What I learned, though. What is it? Cartography? Cartography. Study of maps.
Yep. All right. I think we're going to have time for what we learned as well.
Yeah.
I don't know how long Handy Locks is going to go. All right, it's time for further review. Pluckers Trivia tonight, 7:30 Bluebonnet, 8 o'clock on Nicholson. Y'all get on by and hang out. We're brought to you by the Williamson Eye Center, 924-2020, 924-2020, or WilliamsonEye.com. That's WilliamsonEye.com. I always love telling you about Dr. Blake Williamson because he changed my life in a very literal sense. I mean, I don't wear contacts or glasses anymore. I did for 30 years of my life. And Dr. Blake Williamson brought me out of that. I mean, I'm able to see now better than 2020. Actually, my prescription's 2015. I didn't even know it was possible, but seeing better than 2020 now, thanks to LASIK at the Williamson Eye Center. Maybe LASIK isn't the solution for you. Maybe it's PRK. Maybe you had LASIK years ago and you're having alternate effects to your eye. Well, PRK is a great option. Hester had LASIK when he was playing football just a few years ago, had PRK over at the Williamson Eye Center. Now doesn't need glasses anymore. Whatever it may be, if it's the lens replacement surgery, my dad had that several years back as well. If you want to live your life without contacts or glasses, there's a way to do it. Dr. Blake Williamson at the Williamson Eye Center can help. Call 924-2020, 924-2020, or go to WilliamsonEye.com for that free consultation. WilliamsonEye.com for the Williamson Eye Center. All right, it's after further review. I mentioned earlier as well, John Ruiz, Miami businessman, billionaire, was our guest today on Rosters to Riches, the NIL podcast that I do with Jonathan Pixley. We covered a lot of ground. We only had an abbreviated amount of time. It's only about a 20-minute episode, but we covered a lot of ground. Why John Ruiz got involved in NIL. He talks about how he does not consider himself a booster. As a matter of fact, do you have that one still handy, Muse? Here was John Ruiz. Again, this a man worth an estimated $20 billion, who has been very outspoken about his involvement in the NIL space. He's talked numbers about some of the deals he did, and most recently, Miami has been sanctioned, first school to be sanctioned under NIL rules because of the recruitment of the Calandro twins, which there was a photo of the Calandro twins at John Ruiz's home. He did speak about that as well, and how the NCAA literally got their facts wrong about what happened in that event. Anyway, here was John Ruiz. This is the booster, right? He very clearly says he is not a booster. Listen to the definition.
I think they're all over the place, right? The first thing is that they called me a booster. I can't be a booster if I'm working for my companies. Front and center is you can't call John Ruiz a booster because John Ruiz is not the one doing the NIL deals with these players. I happen to be the CEO of a company, so I'm working on behalf of a company. Can you call LifeWallet or Cigarette Racing a booster? No. So legally they're off. Then in the world of NIL, I mean, you're trying to pigeonhole some obscure rule, which is the definition of a booster, and it's not going to hold up because in this country, number one, we have the right of free speech, which is First Amendment. So I'm able to speak to whomever I want. And number two, when you couple that with a right to contract, how can you say that somebody who's going to enter into a contract or a potential contract can't negotiate the contract?
Listen, you don't accumulate a net worth of $20 billion by being a dummy. And that dude is a very accomplished attorney. He is the CEO of LifeWallet. He's an entrepreneur, businessman. He is savvy. I mean, he ain't just haphazardly walking into this. He knows what cover he has. It was a really interesting conversation. If you haven't done so yet, I'd highly recommend you download the podcast. It's Rosters to Riches, however you get your podcast, Rosters to Riches. I host the podcast with Jonathan Pixley from Matchpoint. Of course, everybody knows about Matchpoint. It's the third-party app that connects businesses and athletes in this NIL space. So really interesting convo with John Ruiz. If you want to give it a listen, I'd highly recommend you go download the podcast. Subscribe up to the podcast and listen to the episode which dropped today. Okay, it's after further review. Final break of the show. When we come back, Ott is in Vegas, so Charles Hannegriff will jump aboard with us for Hanny Locks. Let us know what they got coming up tonight on the show. As we mentioned already, Jimmy's picks are in. He gave us Ohio State, which tipped a bit ago, West Virginia, and Utah. Those are the Ott's 3 plays tonight. The Otters 3 plays tonight. See if he can get back on the winning track. We'll see what Hanny's got for us. That's coming up next as we wrap up AFR.
AFR.
Man, you know it sounds awesome tonight. How about a sack of piping hot boiled crawfish? Huh. Maybe a few cold beers. Man, that would hit the spot. Best place to go, Rouse's. Rouse's boiled crawfish are boiled in-house, fresh, every single day. Every single day. Rouse's has in-house boiling rooms at all of their more than 60 locations, and they've got in-house boiling rooms. So they boil their crawfish in-house every day, hot and ready at 11 a.m. So if you're driving home tonight, you want hot boiled crawfish, you can go to Rouse's and get hot boiled crawfish that was boiled today at Rouse's. St. Patty's Day is around the corner. Rouse's has St. Patrick's Day king cakes as well. So if you want to celebrate, you can get to Rouse's or get it shipped. Just go to rouses.com, rouses.com. At Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints.
Hi, I'm Brandon Landry, founder and CEO of Water.
Hi, my name is Dr. Craig Green.
This is Ryan Terrio with HUDCORoofing.com.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. No matter how big your commercial roofing job, HUDCO can help.
My patients come to me because they trust that I can get the job done at a high level. Ryan Terrio and Richard Tilley have the same level of trust when it comes to roofing.
If you have a roofing issue, call HUDCO Roofing.
Give us a call, 364-1007, and we'll come to your house and give you a free inspection.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Louisiana. It's a place defined by culture, by pride, by passion, by people who do more than love this place. They celebrate it, elevate it, champion it. They are the individuals who embody what makes Louisiana great. The companies that make Louisiana a better place to work and live. The nonprofits leading transformational change in our communities. Champions of Louisiana are all around us, and LWCC is proud to celebrate them because we've always been Louisiana loyal, supporting the workers, the innovators, the change agents of this great place we call home. Who are the champions around you? Together, we can share their stories. Together, we can help our home state thrive. Together, we are Louisiana.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Down the stretch we come. Final segment here on a Wednesday. Got my days wrong. A Wednesday edition of AFR presented by Pluckers. We got one thing left to do. Let's find out what we're betting on tonight. Time for Otter Locks.
Otter Locks, presented by Lofton Staffing Services. At Lofton, we put people to work. Call us today at 924-0200 or go to lofton.jobs.
Normally we turn to the one and only, the incomparable and often incomprehensible, the Ottfather himself, Jimmy Ott. However, the Ottfather himself happens to be in Las Vegas. So we turn to Hanny Locks. Charles Handegriff, how are you, Hanny?
Doing good, Scone. How are you?
I'm doing awesome. So, Otter in the last week plus He's hit the skids here, Hanny. It's been struggle bus time over the last week plus, so hopefully you can pick him up a little bit. What are you looking at?
So tonight I'm looking at at least one team that desperately needs a win. We're going to start with Oklahoma State. Lenardi's got them as the first team out. They're literally team 69 right now with a net of 43. They're going to pick them tonight against Oklahoma. This is, to me, just, a very even matchup, of course, but Oklahoma State needs this game to get in the tournament. If they lose it, they're out. Oklahoma would have to win this one and do some other things. So I'm just going with straight sense of urgency here. Very even matchup. I'll take the Cowboys. It's a straight pick 'em right now. I'm going to take Oklahoma State. The other game that I like is I'm basically going against the team. There's nothing really on the line here, but I can't make Ole Miss a 6.5-point favorite against anybody. They're laying 6.5 for South Carolina. I think this is a very even matchup of two crappy teams, and you're giving me nearly a touchdown. So I'm going to take South Carolina plus 6.5. We watched South Carolina play Alabama to basically a standoff less than 2 weeks ago. So they've got it in them. Ole Miss, they're maybe more interested in who's going to be the next coach and with the Chris Beard rumors and stuff out there. So I'm going to take South Carolina plus 6.5 against Ole Miss tonight. A lot of games that have huge NCAA implications. Nobody needs to win more than North Carolina. I'm not laying 11.5, but if you want to throw them in a money line parlay somewhere, North Carolina is one of the first four out. So they need to win against Boston College. Can't afford to slip up there. And Arizona State also laying 11 tonight in the first four out against Oregon State. I'm not saying to lay 11 or 11.5 in either one of those games, but if you got a money line parlay and you want to throw something in there, both of those teams need a win. They're both big favorites tonight.
All right. I actually like that in a little parlay action. So, where are you tonight, Hanny?
We are at Snow's Seafood and Steak in Gonzales. Right, we're in the banquet room, but the patio is open. The weather is fantastic, and it's steak night here at Snow's. So if you're in Gonzales here on Airline Highway, stop in and say hello.
Who would you take in a football game between Ole Miss and South Carolina?
Oh, this past year, I would probably have taken Ole Miss.
Okay,
but
even at the end of the year when South Carolina was blowing out Tennessee and Ole Miss couldn't beat anybody?
Yeah, South Carolina came on strong and had they won the Orange Bowl twofer when they beat Tennessee and Clemson. They beat all the Orange teams. But I would have probably taken Ole Miss for most of the year. Maybe not at the very end, but for most of the year, I would have taken Ole Miss.
All right. Otter Locks featuring Charles Handegrift today. Otter's out in Vegas hanging out with Colucci, eating a matzo ball or something like that. So Hanny's over at Snow's Seafood and Steak. Check him out following us here in Baton Rouge. If you're not in Baton Rouge, you can check it out online at 1045ESPN.com. Thank you, Hanny.
All right, Scone.
All right, man. Good luck and have a great night. It's After Further Review, brought to you by Hudco Roofing. HudcoRoofing.com. Tell you every day, do business with someone you know. That's Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Whether you're in the 318, the 225, the 504, or the 337. Go to the website, HudcoRoofing.com. You'll see the phone numbers right there at the top. Find the number for your corresponding area code, and someone in your area will answer that call and will help get you the roof repair, the roof replacement that you need. Hudco Roofing. Two things to remind you about. One, we're hearing a ton of people every day call us that have their scope of work, that filed a claim with their insurance. They've gotten insurance approved. Might even have a check already from your insurance company. If you're ready to rock, we can order materials. You can have a new roof within 2 weeks. HudcoRoofing.com. And Ida claims. You have 2 years from the date of the storm to file a claim. If you have or might have had roof damage due to Ida, you're running out of time. Give us a call today at Hudco. We'd love to help you out. HudcoRoofing.com. You'll see you can go to the homepage of the website. The contact us form is right there on the homepage. It'll take you 30 seconds. Fill it out. Boom. Someone will be in touch with you immediately, or you can always give us a shout. Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Do business with someone you know. Hudco Roofing and HudcoRoofing.com. All right, LSU baseball getting started here in about 37 minutes, as are the Pels against the Mavs. LSU baseball hosting Lamar and former LSU player and assistant coach Will Davis. Pels at home tonight against Dallas. Dallas a 2.5-point favorite at the Blender. So we'll see if the Pels can find a way to find some mojo. Willie Green said today at his media availability before the game what he told his team. He said, quote, I told him it's go time. And I personally feel like it's been go time for several weeks now, Willie. And the loss to Orlando last week really just took out any optimism I had for this team. And a win over a team like Dallas tonight at home would be a massive boost if they can get it. We'll see if they can get it tonight. Again, the 6:30 tip there, and then LSU basketball. Year one of the Matt McMahon era could come to a close tonight. 8 o'clock tip for LSU and Georgia from Nashville. All right, we always, when we have time, like to wrap up with what we learned. Muse, you learned anything today, aside from the fact that you're terrible at trivia, or did we already know that?
That's where I learned things, though, man. And one of those things was the science of drawing maps is cartography.
Cartography. C-A-R-T-O-G-R-A-P-H-Y. In fact, that is it. Paulie, you learned anything today?
Yeah, I learned that John Ruiz is not a booster.
Maybe John Ruiz claims he's not a booster. His argument was actually very compelling.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're operating as the CEO of Life Wallet, and you're doing deals for Life Wallet, you're not actually just giving money to the university. It's interesting to think of it that way.
What did you learn, Matt?
I learned, where did I write it down? I had something and I lost it. I blanked. Oh, no. It was something Wilson said. Oh, the thing that Brian Kelly, what did he call it?
AFR.
What did he call it? Decentralized operation. Yes, LSU is going to have a decentralized operation on special teams. All right, as we get on down the road, we remind you about Michelli Weighing and Measurement. Michelli.com, Michelli.com. I tell you every day about Michelli, and I love telling you every day about Michelli because Michelli is a Louisiana company. Locally owned, locally operated, locally born 76 years ago. And they've continued to expand their footprint. 29 offices across 11 different states with calibration labs from sea to shining sea. So if you weigh or measure something, they can help. If you need your precision measurement devices calibrated, they can help. And you know the way Michelli goes above and beyond, not only with their face-to-face customer service, but also things like their track system. 24/7, 365 access to all of your calibration certificates, and that is a free service to every customer. Learn more online, Michelli.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
I've got that blue sky, I've got that sunshine.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $10,000 off new 2022 Ram 1500s. 2022 Ram 1500 trucks on our lot now with $10,000 off MSRP. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. If you need